What's up? How y'all doing? Weigh in Wednesday. Y'all know how we do. Welcome back. What's going on, everybody? Give me 1 second. Let me get all my screens pulled up here. Get everything that I need to see what's what. Get all my viewers. What's going on? Hello, hello. Thanks for joining us. It is Weigh In Wednesday. Viewers, what's going on? Oh, got audio feedback. Let's cut that out. Long day. I know I would, you know what? I was off today, so got to relax. Got to relax. And I am ready to jump in here and get to our discussions. I know we got some things we're going to talk about later. I've got a special guest tonight, Phoenix Midnight. Phoenix Midnight. That's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to having her on. That is our special guest tonight. She is part of a burlesque show, and she has created her own burlesque show. And wait, wrong one. Click there. Hey, Cynthia, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking out our Weigh-In Wednesday. But yeah, Phoenix Midnight. I've sent her the link. I am waiting for her to get her login. She'll be in the green room here in just a moment. So we will do her intro once she hops on. I know a couple of things that we were saying we were going to talk about tonight. I know we are going to. David and Linda may not be joining us tonight. They got to get some stuff prepared for MomoCon, which is coming up. MomoCon here in Atlanta, MomoCon 2022. They host a lot of the different things. That's actually, I don't know if it's next weekend, maybe the weekend after. It starts Thursday, May 26th, and runs through Sunday, May 29th. And both David and Linda have, okay, Miss Midnight is in the green room. She's just about ready, and we'll have her on in just a second. We'll get started. There we go. But yeah, MomoCon. So be sure to check that out. And I don't know, depending on availability, I may try to get out there myself. I 1 year we're going to have a booth at MomoCon, and I want to have a booth at Dragon Con and do all the cool cons and stuff and be a part. Let's see which way there's yeah, there we go. We got to do it. Got my drink. Yep. So we're ready. But some of the different things that we were going to discuss tonight, of course, we've got to talk about She-Hulk. The She-Hulk trailer, it's going to be discussed. So everybody who's got thoughts on the She-Hulk trailer. In fact, let me see if I can find Damien. One of our members, he had some strong thoughts on it, and I'm going to see if I can find him. It's just a big drink, not necessarily a strong drink, just a big drink. Because I'll be out in the sun during the day and don't want to hurt myself being dehydrated and stuff. But we will see how that goes. So let me see if I can find Damien real quick. I want to try to get Damien Kane. So if anybody shoots a message over to Damien Kane and see if he's available, and if he is, holler at him and see if I can get him to jump in. Let's see. You free for way. Let's see. All right, we'll give Miss Midnight just a little bit to get herself situated. I'm going to go ahead and throw the link in the chat. And once I put the link in the chat, that of course will be for anybody who wants to join in. It is open to the public. So if you want to join in, be a part of our conversation and come and see what we do and have some opinions and want to talk about it, by all means. And let me throw it over here in the Facebook chat as well. Boom. All right. So we've got it on all fronts so everybody can join in. And here we go. Okay. So Miss Midnight is ready. She'll give me a thumbs up and we'll go ahead and get her in here. So, our special guest tonight, she is a member of the Mischievous Madams burlesque troupe in Gainesville, Florida. Um, there we go. No, move that, close that, get that out the way. Um, they're in Gainesville, Florida. She's the creator of Ashes Rising burlesque. She's done 2 burlesque tours up and down the East Coast. She's performed at SuperCon, SwampCon, Spooky Empire, and BlurredCon. She's one half blurred, one half chocolate milk, and 3 halves hot mess. I present to you Miss Phoenix Marie. I caught her right while she was taking her sip.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I am doing well. Welcome. Thank you so much for being a part of our show. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for asking me. I know we were trying to figure something out there for a little bit.
Yeah, we
So,
just trying to get a schedule. It's we all have lives and we have things we have to do. So
yeah.
I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule
Thank you so
to
much.
jump in here and be a part. So I've got a ton of questions.
Oh boy.
I've got a ton of questions.
Oh, let me take a drink before we get to this. Oh boy.
So first off, I initially became familiar with your burlesque show as a link that you posted in our group Grown A Geeks.
Yeah.
For those of you who are not a part of that group, you are welcome to click that QR code right there in the corner right above Miss Midnight, and that will get you to all of our wonderful content. You can find us obviously live here on Facebook. We're on Twitch. We've got Instagram. I'm working on a TikTok. I don't know if I'm going to do any of the TikTok dances. I haven't decided yet. I'm not really thinking that's my cup of tea, but we'll see how it goes. If the people demand it, maybe we'll make something happen there. Um, but you posted a link in the group. You have a. It was part of a burlesque show. It was called Strip Trek.
Yes. So that particular photo, I did the act again for the Mischievous Madams, the troupe that I'm part of. I did that as part of a live show here, as part of our anniversary show. But the act itself was specifically made for my online Star Trek burlesque show, Strip Trek. This year was Strip Trek 2, Getting Risky on Ryza, that we did. And since it was online, I'm like, maybe people other places would want to see it. We originally had placed the show so that it aired right around First Contact Day for any Trekkies that are in the audience. If you're not, that is April 5th. And yeah, it was just I was like, I just wanted to see who was into Trek, who would want to give me money to see the show and everything. Well, because it's burlesque. It's most times, it takes a lot of money to look that cheap and weird and ridiculous. And I do not know why my camera just went out for no reason.
There
Um,
you are.
but um, this was a show that I originally did starting last year because of the again. Oh my god, what the hell? I don't know what's going on.
That's all right. That's the beauty of live shows. Anything can happen.
They don't want to see you. Okay, we're just gonna stick to the picture. It's a nice picture. I'm using Mitch McConnell as a footstool. I think people can appreciate that.
I find the humor in it. So
But yeah, no, I'm a big Trekkie, and that show was a dream show. So for the first for last year and the year before, because of the pandemic, I did it as an online show, and hopefully next year we'll be able to do a live version.
okay. So let me just for those of you who are not familiar, I'm going to bring up the uh, let's see. I'm going to bring up the post and show it so that others can see the post that we're referring to. And this was, that's the screen we want to share. There we go. And this was the original post that got my attention. And I saw that and I was like, wait, what? And that is the Batlift Burlesque act.
Yes.
Finally got a chance to see the light of day. Um, I was like, okay, wait, Star Trek Burlesque, you got my attention. What is this? I need to know. I need to see more. And I followed the information that was there. There is a link in the description and things like that. It's really easy to follow, really easy to find. I will we will put that, I will actually bump that comment uh, up to the front so it will be available. Matter of fact, we're just going to go ahead and pin it to the homepage for you there. And
Oh.
we will make that a post right there, and I will pin that to the homepage. So that will be part of our featured. So anybody that's curious and wants to know more about the burlesque show, check that out. And I was curious. So you're a part of this online burlesque show, and you're
Yes, I'm the
the
producer of that one. Yes.
and Ashes Rising. What is talk to me about Ashes Rising? What is that
So,
one?
Ashes Rising is my burlesque production company, and that's the one that put on Strip Track.
Okay.
So Strip Track is under the Ashes Rising umbrella. Ashes Rising is my own particular burlesque production. I started it in 2016. Originally, my first show was actually a benefit show for a good friend of mine that had cancer. And then I realized, wait, I can produce a show and nobody really gets hurt. And even though we gave all the door money to my friend, Chet Labar, who unfortunately is no longer with us, um, the tips that we made from the show were, I was like, oh, okay, so I can sort of do that. And it took a while to kind of get my producer legs going. And then I just really never stopped. And for me, I tend to go more nerdy with my shows because that's just who I am. You have some burlesque shows that are classic, some that are horror. I tend to go for mostly nerd.
Okay, because I know one of the things as I was attempting to do a little bit of research on it and find out what was what. I came across one that was like a hero and villains. That was the one that was supposed to be in Atlanta,
Oh, Hero and Villains was actually supposed to be here in Gainesville. We have another
Gainesville.
troupe in Gainesville, Breakaway Burlesque. They had asked me to be part of that show. Unfortunately, that show ended up having to be canceled because some people in the cast couldn't make it. One of them was stuck overseas with COVID. So we're hoping to reschedule a different date for that show. Uh, I Heroes and villains, like people are gonna think, Marvel, DC, video games, whatever. I was actually going to do a more I'm trying to think of the best word for it. I was going to actually portray our local utilities company as a villain because that's what they are.
The gas company.
Yeah, yeah. Our water looks. I'm like, I'm sorry. I will never forgive y'all for the $896.22 bill that y'all tried to give me.
I actually had an issue. My water company at one point, there was right where the water meter is outside. The water meter was flooding, and they came. Eventually I noticed like there's water just always in my yard. I can't figure out what it is. And I realized that the water was coming from the meter itself. You've got the little hole there, and it was coming out of that. And then lo and behold, turns out there's like a small pipe on the outside of the connector. And they're like, well, that's on your end and you're responsible for it. Went back and got to looking over a couple of bills, and I was like, so y'all just been letting this, like, nobody thought this stood out that I had a sudden jump in my bill.
Of course
And then
not.
on top of that, I had to like fix it myself, pay for it myself. There was nothing. So yeah, the water company. That's I'm gonna ask the water company to be one of the villains. Totally, totally okay with that.
Actually, the outfit that I'm wearing in the photo that you see right now is from that act. So when I'm in Gainesville, I do it as our local utilities company. When I'm outside of Gainesville, I do it as the IRS. And so this picture, this was of course they I did not have Mitch McConnell in my act because he is not worthy to be my footstool in real life. But I did this as part of like a fetish show. So I do this act as a financial dominatrix.
Okay.
To Cardi B's, to Rihanna's "Bitch Better Have My Money" and Cardi B's money. And I have a guy that I basically just steal his money and abuse him and use him as a footstool, sit on him, do all this random stuff. And this was around the time that the stimulus checks were coming out, but they were taking their time. So I just had somebody Photoshop Mitch McConnell's face on there, and that's how that picture came to be.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. So why burlesque? What was the draw and the inspiration for a burlesque show? And what would you define a burlesque show for the people who may not be familiar? Because I was actually talking with a friend and I was like really excited. I was like, yeah, yeah, we're doing our next show. I'm gonna have uh a woman who she has her own burlesque show and she's a part of this burlesque show. I didn't have all the details, so thank you for giving me the right information so I can speak intelligently on it. But I was kind of describing the show to them, and I remember one of the rules, and so I didn't show them anything. I was like, yeah, it was only $15. Like, here's the link, and and so if I was like, you can check that out, and this is where you would go to pay and such. So, but I was kind of describing burlesque, and he was like, "What's burlesque?" And I was thinking to myself, like, what? You don't know about burlesque? And I've been to one other burlesque show myself. Here in Atlanta, we went to the Suicide Girls had their burlesque show
Hmm.
here in Atlanta. I want to say it was maybe 2 years ago, and we went and we were in attendance, and it was that was my first experience being at a burlesque show because before that, the only thing I knew when I heard the word burlesque, of course, was just I would always think of like the woman with the fans. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like a strip show, but not really a strip show. But it had the same theme, it had the same concept, it had the same allure, but it was like toned down almost. And when we went to the one for the Suicide Girls, there was like a lot more choreography. There was, it had some of the shows had like very interesting themes. The music was fantastic. I was very impressed by the writing. A lot of the songs, because these are custom songs, and well, some of them were custom songs, and then others were just like really intricate performances. So that was my experience with the burlesque. So I am now posing the question to you: why burlesque? What was your draw to go the way of burlesque show?
Um, Let me see. I'm trying to figure out which question is easier to answer. I'm actually going to answer your second question first. You
Okay.
asked like what is burlesque, and like you said, there were similar. You were talking about how your thoughts were like the fans. You were thinking like the fans and the boas and the big dresses from like the early days and whatnot, um which is classic burlesque, and that's basically what it all started out as. Burlesque is kind of today, it's kind of like a rule 34 thing. If it exists, there's probably going to be a burlesque guy. It's anything that you want it can be about anything. But I guess in terms of what it is at the core of it, it is stripping. um there tends to be more of a theme, more storytelling, a lot more props. um what I would like to think about it is that burlesque is like strip club stripping's cousin. That if you're in the strip club, you're not spending a lot of money on an outfit, but you're making, a couple hundred a night. Versus burlesque, you're spending a couple $100 on a whole act. And if we can break even, if we can even break half of what it took to put into that act, then it's worth then it's worth it. But um, a lot. So you have classic burlesque, which, like you said before, is the ball gowns, the fancy fans, the boas, the very sensual classic, and that's what it was mostly up until I want to say the 40s and 50s. And then burlesque kind of died out. And then in the 90s, it had a revival. And so it kind of, for a while, it stuck to those very classic roots. And then it slowly started to branch out. So now you have classic burlesque, you have neo burlesque, you have nerdy burlesque, you have horror burlesque. It literally, anything can be turned into a burlesque act. It can be comedy, it can be classic, it can be sensual, it can be political, it can be horrifying. It all depends on that performer.
So it could be something like your utility bills.
Exactly. Yeah. No, like my utility bills, that happened I think a year before I started burlesque. I was asked to do a show about what do you think embodies Gainesville. I'm like, well, we all hate the utility company here, GRU, for anybody who was listening. And if you do, and if you're from GRU, please go sit on a cactus. Um, so I'm like, well, what embodies Gainesville? Everybody hates the utility company. We've the school. We've got UF. We all had different acts. We had somebody do a burlesque act as a gator. So it's
as a gator. I
yes,
could,
as
yeah,
a gator, yeah.
I could see that.
So it's literally just anything, and depending on the producers that you work with, some of them kind of have like this with my production companies. This is the broad theme that I have. One of my really good friends here, Delicate Flower, she is the producer of Purple Nightshade, and her thing is horror. Her thing is horror, anything creepy. That's her thing. I have another friend that she's very much into clown things. So if when she puts on a show,
So a Pennywise burlesque.
I have seen Pennywise burlesque. It was half horrifying and half arousing, and I was not sure what to do with myself.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I will say just the Star Trek one. And I will encourage others to go take a view. It is a burlesque show, so if that is not your thing, then it is not your thing. Know what you're gonna be seeing. But it was very interesting. It was very interesting. The Will Wheaton set, I'm Just a Kid,
Yeah.
uh, Bromance. Um, there were a couple that really stood out, and
Mhm.
it was very humorous. I did a lot of laughing, um, and the performances were like you could tell that these were performances people like took seriously, and
Mhm.
it is, I think it is important to point out that these are performances
Yeah.
and should be viewed as such. And I was rather impressed with it overall.
I'm very glad to hear that. I know that I'll definitely be doing my bit again because my headpiece was just not working with me that day. Um, but yeah, no, these are performances, and it's a paid show. I am paying these people to bring me these acts to submit to me these videos, and I have to pay for promotion. I have to pay for their acts. I have to pay um for videography, for the person that put the whole show together. So if I am spending money, or I am at least or collecting money one way or another. Sometimes I'm lucky and get sponsors. In this case, in this show, we did have some, but it's a performance. It's art. It might not be art that's for everybody, but it's still art the same. We are spending time and money and effort. So yes, always pay for your art, especially if it's local art, especially if we're not from like some big you know, company or troupe or whatever.
Gotcha. So the costumes,
Yes.
the attire, I noticed that these were like authentic Star Trek uniforms. We had red shirts, we had blue shirts, we had
Yes.
yellow shirts,
Hmm.
we had Klingons, we
Yes.
had Vulcans. Like it was Star Trek. You
Yeah.
could
Oh
look
yeah.
at it and pick out the Star Trek. Who does the costuming? Does it fall into the same category as people who are interested in do cosplay? Do you all make your own costumes?
Yeah.
Is it sometimes purchased? Is it
Yeah. No, sometimes it's purchased, sometimes we make it ourselves. And then we just embellish it. And for anybody who might even be interested about, either going to a burlesque class or even maybe trying out burlesque for themselves, um, there is no wrong way to do costumes except for unfinished. Your costumes can be purchased and embellished any way that you see fit. Or if you happen to have, sewing skills, you can make it yourself. I have next to none sewing skills, which which makes me kind of mad because my mother sewed all my clothes when I was little, me and my sisters, and then she would say like, "Well, you need to know how to sew," and I'm like, "Mom, I'm probably gonna go to med school. What am I gonna need to know how to sew for?" And here I am, 20 years later, going, "Damn it, I probably should have been paying attention." So I'll still scream at my sewing machine at times. But yeah, no. In terms of costumes, it's all across the board. It's all across the board. And like for my Worf outfit, that was bought, and I just embellished it and made it so that it was strippable.
okay? And so that would include some like Velcro in the legging and stuff like that. Because there was one segment, I won't say which one. I laughed, I chuckled a bit because it looked like there was supposed to be a little less struggle with removing the pants, and it kind of worked out with the set. But as I was watching, I was like, is that supposed to happen? Okay, okay.
I mean, it's, you know what? That's kind of the good thing about online shows versus live shows. And like you said, I know which act you're talking about it, and yes, it did fit in with everything. But hey, you know what? In live shows, zippers get stuck. Pants don't come off all the way that they're supposed to. Pasties fall off. Oh God, I am the queen of pasties falling off, and that's when I'm like, okay, that was an extra show. Y'all give me a 20.
There you go.
But yeah, it's just part of live entertainment. Mishaps are bound to happen, and it just kind of, well, how do you deal with that mishap happening?
I imagine the show must go on,
Oh yeah.
and in many cases, I was able to see. It looks like these were not necessarily one take. Some of them looked like they were more polished, if you will. There was a little bit more production involved. I'll
Yeah.
say it that way. There was more
Yeah.
production involved in some of them, and others were more of a live show feel.
Okay.
And
Yeah. When the pandemic happened, we were trying to figure out how we were going to do shows, and as I was watching more and more people do more and more taped shows, I was like, yeah, wow, I'm seeing like all these cuts, and yeah, it was more theatrical, and that was like a big pro about doing online shows. I can do 6 or 7 takes, and we piece together the best parts, and it looks really nice. It's professional. We can have all these special effects, add sound effects. So that was a really good thing about having a live show. The biggest thing that I didn't like about having a live show is you're performing for your camera. You're not performing. You don't have that audience energy to feedback off of.
yeah, and I will say that as like so as I've been doing these shows, um, at least having the chat option up and stuff like that, when people have comments and they want to say different things, they can put it in chat and it's right there, and we're able to see that and respond to them. Or very rarely is it a situation where I'm on the show by myself. I've done a show or two where like the intro portion was just me, and I think I had like hour and a half. I was just talking about different things that were in group, different comments, and giving my own individual thoughts. So I certainly see how it would be difficult you almost have to do the whole thing, stop, go back and watch it and see if there was something you messed up on, and
Yeah.
see if you can just do it again and not miss that cue or miss that, miss this cue. Um, so between the two, obviously, I would assume that you enjoy performing live more
Yes.
so than doing the recorded shows.
Yeah, no, each one has their pros and cons. Of course, live show, if you fuck up on stage, everybody's there to see it. There's no, oh, let me go back and start the whole thing again. Um, but the audience being there and laughing and watching and gasping and cheering you on, that was something that I noticed a lot of us during the pandemic were really missing, because it's such an integral part of the show. The audience is just as integral and important as the performers.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense because if you're performing, you have to perform for someone. So I
Yeah.
could see how you get a little bit more out of that. So outside of the burlesque, since you obviously have a lot of these costumes, you have this different attire. Do you actually do cosplay? Because you mentioned being a blur. Do you attend any of the cons in costume?
I have not been able to outside of the performances just because of time constraints, because usually it's I'm performing for a show, then I have to get ready. And that was before the pandemic and also before I had a baby. So now that's extra time that I don't have anymore. But
Okay.
no, I would, if I had the time, yes, I would absolutely love to cosplay. A lot of my burlesque outfits can also double as a cosplay. So I'm friends with a couple of cosplayers. There's No Sleep Till Cosplay. They're based out of near Tampa. They're amazing. I've wanted to work with them for forever to try to create a gender bent cyborg cosplay, like Cyborg from DC.
Okay.
But more,
Booyah. Teen Titans.
yes, yeah, more, yeah, specifically Teen Titans. Like I looked at the one from the movie, and I'm like, that's cool, but I don't think I can do all that. I do have a folder of like, these are all the cosplays I wanted to do, and then just never had the time to do them. And then burlesque kind of gave me a driving force behind it. I'm like, oh, I can actually get paid to dress up and then take that off, but then I still have this amazing costume that I can go to other events in at any time.
Okay, that definitely works, and it seems like that would be advantageous to have
Mhm.
multiple uses for it, so it's not a one and done kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, no, most burlesque outfits and acts we do multiple times, because that's the point. Like I know in it's a little bit different from, like, say, drag. Drag, a lot of times you're seeing, I'm like, how are these bitches just putting out new outfit week after week after week, sometimes, two, three times in a week. Burlesque is, okay, these are the people that want my Scar act. Okay, these are the shows I'm going to do my Scar act. These are the ones I'm going to do my Wharf act. These are the ones I'm going to do my Assassin's Creed act. So there were costumes I've had here for maybe basically since the beginning of me doing burlesque that have been revamped and added onto and stuff taken off of. But
So if you can, let's go through this list again because I heard you say Assassin's Creed.
yes.
We know Worf, which is
Mhm.
Star Trek.
I also do Uhura from Star Trek as well.
Okay,
Let me see. I'm just like trying to look at my outfits here. I do the Joker.
okay,
I do Gwaithir, which is the golden eagle from Lord of the Rings.
okay.
I have Vaporeon from Pokemon.
All right, got a Vaporeon.
Um,
I like that.
let's see. Jack Skellington.
Okay, now that's a unique.
Yeah, that is a very difficult one if it's really hot and sweaty. Let me see. Show Enough is another one that I have. I do a gender bent
Last
show enough.
Dragon. All
Yes.
right, Last Dragon.
Yes. And I
Love
got
it.
the glow. I got the glow in that one. I've also done Storm a couple of times. Let
Okay.
me see. Yeah, no, I definitely have a couple of outfits that would definitely be great for cosplay. There are 50, 11 more that I would absolutely love to do. Like I'm about to just look at my photo. Like I literally have on my profile just like an album of these are the things I really would like to do. I know Yoruichi from Bleach is one of them.
Okay. That's some
Um,
anime
yeah.
burlesque.
Also, yeah, I'm very big into I was very big into anime for a while. I need to start watching again. Integra from Sir Integra, sorry, from Helsing is another one that I would have loved to do. Um, shit, who else
I mean,
is
that's a show in and of itself right there.
and you know what? I'm always looking for news. I'm always looking for like new inspiration of like, okay, what's a show that I would have loved to do, and is there a good time to do it? Like, I for everybody that was not able to see, before the camera cuts out. I got my Bender shirt on, and with Futurama coming back, I would love to do a Futurama burlesque show.
I think Dr. Zoidberg needs to be gender bent and burlesque. That is I'm gonna throw that one out there. I think it would work with the pasties, have the same little
I have to get
gills
like when
things.
he has like anime, it just whoop, 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 whoop,
See,
whoop.
it worked. See, there you go. There you go. And I only want 1% from that. Like
Only 1%. All
just
right.
1%.
How
You know,
about your
just
1% be the free ticket to the show? How about that? And
works for me.
here's the
There we
thing,
go.
if it's probably going to be a lot. Well, you know what? Depending if it's a live show or an online show, because um, another thing I'm going to say about online shows is anybody can see it. That's something else we learned about the pandemic. When we did Strip Trek, I looked to see like, okay, where were people seeing it? Most of them were in town, but then I had a couple people in Canada, which I'm like makes sense. One of my performers, Samwise the Slutty, they were from Canada. But then I also had somebody in like Ireland and somebody in Australia watching it, and I'm like, whoa, whoa. How did you hear about this? How did you get it? You know what? You give me your money. I don't care. Enjoy the show. Have
Yeah,
fun,
it's
man. Have
that is the beauty of the internet. The internet is everywhere, and
fun.
you don't
Mhm.
have to cut yourself short.
Exactly. So a lot of us going forward, I still feel like online shows are still going to be a thing, but with our live shows, we're going to have it live streamed to
Okay.
kind of still give people that experience. Because I will say, I think it's a lot more difficult to put together an online show versus a live show, but a lot of us are still gonna keep that live stream component so that our friends that have to stay home for whatever reason are still able to watch and enjoy.
That I think a live show is a good idea personally. I think it would do well, and I wish you the best. I hope that it goes very well. So whatever next show, what are your plans for the next show? Do you have anything in the pipeline?
Oh God, yes. Actually, right after we're done with this, I am packing up and heading to Savannah for the Hostess City Hoedown Burlesque Festival. I'm going to be competing on Saturday, so this will be interesting. Hoping I can get my costume done in time.
A
Uh,
burlesque competition. What is it a dance off?
it is more of a not so much a dance off, more of a showcase. And what competition is a very loose term. Like we're here to we're there to support our fellow
What kind
burlesque
of
women
pizza did you get?
participants.
Did you bring us pizza?
What
Someone
someone
okay,
with the
so
pizza and
one of our guests,
mhm.
so we can see here on the screen our
Yeah.
guests when they chime in and they have comments, it comes up on the screen, and one of our guests actually stepped away to go get pizza. And of course I'm inquiring, like, we're sitting here doing an
I
interview
didn't
and
get
you're telling
nothing.
us pizza. I didn't get no pizza. Where's my pizza?
I didn't get nothing. I didn't hear nothing. I mean, does it got mushrooms? I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay with whatever as long as it doesn't have pineapple on it. It's all good.
Okay, so a no pineapple on pizza
No
person.
pineapple on. I'm sorry. I'm a no pineapple pizza person.
Okay,
Can't
good to,
do it. Can't do
welcome to your opinion. But pineapple ham works. The Hawaiian is good with me, but I don't do pineapple with anything else.
it. No.
Just the
Mm-mm.
pineapple ham. That's the only time it works.
Wife didn't want to
But
cook. I understand. I totally understand. Wife didn't want to cook. I totally get it.
so yeah, see, there it is. We
Hmm.
typically see the comments a little bit sooner than before they pop up. But yeah,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
I'm I'm in that same. But I actually had a burger that I grilled from the other day, so that was my dinner tonight. I totally understand.
Well, this is my dinner. It's smashed grapes. Within it's
Look at that, getting fruit, got liquid, the
mhm,
whole nine. That's
and
healthy
so
diet, healthy diet.
yeah.
I do
But yeah, so
understand.
so tomorrow for the next couple of days is the Savannah Hostess City Hoedown, and then I'm doing a Comic Con show at a kink club in Jacksonville on June 11th. And then after that, I'm taking a bit of a break. A month after that, I'm going to try to be in DC for BlurredCon. I performed there 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I was like, "Oh my god, there are Black geeks. They're everywhere." But we're all in one spot. It was probably one of the best burlesque experiences of my life. I wish I was able to go and explore the con more. And then after that, I will be go-go dancing at it's a venue called the Castle down in Tampa, because that July 30th, that whole weekend is Tampa Bay Comic Con. William Shatner's going to be there. He's going to be there. But Gates McFadden, aka Beverly Crusher, will be there. And so I'm like, well, that's just going to be another 3-day weekend for me. I go down, see if I can get an autograph, because I'm kind of mad that MegaCon's this weekend and I have to be in Savannah instead of Orlando. And
Ah,
LeVar Burton and Brent Spinner are going to be at MegaCon this weekend.
wow. We've got MomoCon coming up here in Atlanta.
Hmm.
I had mentioned at the top of the show that was the next thing that's coming up. Um, and two of my mods they host panels, and I think one does a booth for fighting games and the other does karaoke.
Oh,
So
nice.
they are always a part of that, and eventually Grown A Geeks will be big enough that we will have like our own booth, and maybe I'll get some merch and have it available and have it right there. I finally was a man of my word, and I went through we have our own online store, and I went through, and like we have our own merchandise, shirts and hats and mugs and all types of stuff. And I went through and I edited all of my pricing, because ultimately for me it wasn't so much about trying to make money on cups and like shirts. I just wanted people to have something to, you know, brag about the group and be a part of the group.
Hmm.
Um, and if you like being a part of the group and you want to rep it a little bit, that's fantastic. So if I'm charging you $30 for a shirt because it's got my logo on it, kind of hard to make you want to rep it. But if it only costs you $8, maybe you don't mind so much, because it's not about profit for me. It's not money that I'm saving. It's just the cost of the creation of the shirt and getting it to you. So
I got
that's
you.
that's where I am.
Well,
So
can I put my merch next to your
oh,
merch?
most definitely. In fact, if you have a link for any of your stuff right here on, do you have comments on your side?
I do have comments on my side. I actually just sent you via Messenger 3 flasks that I've made. I tend to do nerdy flasks. I'm gonna send you the link. But for anybody that's interested, the name of my store is Fiery and Fierce. It's on Etsy. I do a lot of rhinestone stuff, anywhere from pins and pasties to full on rhinestone flasks. And hopefully Sam can get them going up there.
Give me 1 second. I will do one better.
Uh-oh.
Boom. Because I try to I like doing our member spotlights, and I want to encourage others who are in our group and want to be a part. If you want to be spotlighted, this is how you do it, and this is why you do it, because we are going to bring up your Etsy store.
Oh shit.
Right there, we're going to show your Etsy store live, let people see the merchandise. So I gotta tell you, I'm loving the flask.
Yep. That's
I'm
my main
loving that Deadpool flask. Now, I am going to also say if you happen to make any flasks of a certain kind of character, or if you're
thing.
taking requests,
Yes, I do. I do take requests. I can do custom ones of any type of nerd thing, of any type of nerdy, just about any nerdy thing. Just know that if you're going to try to come with me, like, oh, can you make a Confederate flag flask? I'm going to laugh in your face and block you.
as is your right
Yeah.
as a creator. Um, and you know what? I think I'm okay. So I'm kind of looking here, and I'm like, yeah. So I like the Star Trek hairpin brooch.
Mm-hmm.
Couple that in with the Star Trek pasties.
Yep. Made for anybody of any gender. Anybody can wear them.
And then the Klingon Empire pasties.
Mm-hmm.
I need to, you know what? I'm going to reach out to a couple people because I think the pride pins and the hairpins, the flask.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Pride's coming up, so I'm starting to work on a couple of those. But I know Atlanta does Pride in like, is it September, October, something like that?
I would have to ask. I don't know offhand,
Okay.
but I'm sure there is someone who can let us know when Pride Week in Atlanta. As a matter of fact, you know what? Because that's why I have all these multiple screens up. Oh wait, wrong thing. Let's close that window first. There we go. But
There was no porn on there. I was disappointed.
no, that's on a whole other browser, so I don't make that mistake. Can't make that mistake on these shows, so that's a whole other browser. It's the only thing Microsoft Edge is good for. No one ever opens it, so I don't have to worry about anything.
And so it looks like y'all's Pride Festival is in October, October 7th.
Okay, because like I said, I would have to ask, and I was going to look it up because I'm sure Google knew the answer. Google knows all. But yeah, so the Etsy store, that's fantastic. I think that is very, very cool. And I did not see this one, so I'm going to pop this one up and let people see this. Boom, share and screen. That's a nifty one.
Yes, that one. Somebody won the flask in the raffle, but they're like, I actually want this different design. And I made it specifically for their friend. And I know that there's another creator. I've seen them. I've seen videos of them at Dragon Con. They also do like the robes that look like you killed your fifth husband, like your fifth husband died under mysterious circumstances, and they have a robe in this style as well. So I'm kind of hoping somebody buys that flask and gets that robe and just does a photo shoot, because that would be amazing.
Cool. That one was, let's see, so you had that one. There was another one I saw. I think the other two were on there, the Mandalorian one and the Star Trek one, but I did not see the one from Naruto. So I wanted to share that one just because I thought that one was really cool. And if you are in fact taking commissions, I will have to inquire about getting a Superman flask commissioned.
Well, what do you do? Because I actually just have a Superman stencil that's ready to go. You just let me know.
So I'm gonna be extra just because like it wouldn't be right if I wasn't. I'll put in. We'll talk about it later, but I would like to get the Kingdom Come Superman logo.
Oh, okay, okay. So I'll have to get that stencil. But yeah, we can do that.
It looks like that.
Oh, okay.
So it's still the Superman S, but it's got a slightly different design. It's from the comic Kingdom Come. Okay. I'd like that one. So if I get one like that, super custom, nobody else is going to have it. I think that would be awesome.
No, absolutely. I can do that one.
Well, if you want to, I've got your Etsy shop listed. We've got it posted in the comments. So anybody that goes back to watch the show, they'll be able to find the links right there. That will take you to the Etsy shop. If you want to post links to any of the, where they can find the shows, where they can find the content, or where they can contact you, put that in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys just look on Facebook or Instagram, Phoenix Midnight, I'm usually posting about where you can find me next, or where Fiery and Fierce, my Etsy store, because I also will do art markets where we're gonna be next. You can message me, email me, call me, beat me if you want to reach me. If you want to page me, it's okay.
And let me just one more time for the boom. There it is. That's what the page looks like. And this
Yeah,
says Hostess City
hold down.
Hoedown.
Yeah, we have a bunch. We have a bunch of lovely people on here. The one with the big old, the tig old bitties. That's Knox Falls. Trey DeMarc is on the far left. He was our Geordie in the Strip Trek show. We have Dax exclamation point repping Catwoman. For anybody that's a big RuPaul fan, she was on RuPaul's Drag Race, one of the earlier seasons. And on the right is May Hemmer. She's the Coco Barbie of burlesque. She used to perform in New Orleans. Now she's in North Carolina. She's actually the one who bought the Deadpool flask from me. Like the minute I made it, she messaged me and was like, "Shut up and take my money." So
Right.
she's awesome. She's awesome. Me and her, we both actually have a bit of beef with Genuine.
Bit of beef with Genuine.
Yes, because
Okay.
that man basically owes us child support money. He's the reason that she has. He's the reason that she has two kids, and I got my son. I had my son with a man who was told he could never have any kids, none whatsoever. Him and his ex-wife tried 6 times, no go. He gets with me. We played Genuine one time, boom.
All right. Well, there you have it. So
So yeah,
yeah, he may owe you a couple dollars for that, but
he really do.
I will say between Pony and Jeans, like I won't go into any history, but yeah.
Listen to that song. That song need to come with a warning. May get you pregnant.
That is a serious show. So this one right here, it has information in your page again, Phoenix Midnight.
Mm-hmm.
You can find that on Facebook, and this has information regarding the show. It's a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it looks the tickets are available online. Looks like club1online.com.
Yep, Club One in Savannah, the 3-story gay bar just off of, I want to say Jefferson. I could be wrong. But yeah, come in and hang out with us. We don't bite much or hard. Or we'll bite as hard as you want us to, as long as you pay us. Just throw money at us. We'll see what happens.
There you go. Well, if there's nothing else for you tonight, Phoenix, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it. I look forward to everything you have moving forward. I will be in touch with you to get one of my flasks. I'm all
Absolutely.
about I just want some custom stuff that no one else has, and that looks really dope. And so
But now I'm thinking like I'm thinking I need to make a Hulk flask, because with She-Hulk coming out, and
there you go.
like I gotta get on one of those. So let's talk let's talk Hulk. I want to hear you talk about She-Hulk and your thoughts on that.
You know what? We're gonna jump right into that. Let me move this out the way, and we can hop. Oh, wrong thing there. So we're going to segue right into the next segment. If you're with it, you can stay on. Be my co-host today. How you feel about that?
No, not co-host. I was just trying to help you, man.
Oh no, not a problem at all. But so now we're moving on to the next segment. We're going to start talking about this, and I'm sure once some of my mods, they normally hop in here. Let's see what time we got. We got now. Yes, right at 10 o'clock. So our mods will probably start coming in right around the probably 10:15 mark. That's about when everyone else shows up. Sometimes I get one or two that come on with me at the beginning of the show, but like I said, that first hour is no problem for me. I just start pulling articles and stuff from group and talk about that. One of the first things that we were going to discuss tonight was, in fact, that She-Hulk trailer. The community, the geek community, the nerd fandom, the Marvel stands have come out in droves, and the number one thing everyone is talking about is how bad the CGI looked.
Yep.
And they're talking about this on a show that comes out in August. Comes out in August. And this is the first official trailer, the first trailer we've gotten. And the general consensus is, and we do this every time. I feel like at this point, as fans, we should know. It does no good to jump on the trailer and be like, "Oh, it looks horrible," and what is the CG?
I
It's
don't know.
Disney,
After Sonic, after the whole Sonic debacle, I think we did pretty good there.
and I would agree. The Sonic debacle was, and I think that might even be part of the issue because fans have such a loud voice. Once upon a time, when a movie came out, the movie came out, and the final product was the final product. Maybe there was a director's cut that was scheduled or thought about or planned or it came out, but like how many director's cut do we have on VHS? How
Very.
many extended editions were on VHS? That was kind of a thing that started getting real big when DVDs came around. And as we were moving towards DVD, that was a big thing. So, the product we got was the product we got. And movie reviews were done by Siskel and Ebert after the movie came out. There wasn't a whole lot of hype around the movie beforehand. As time has gone on and the community and the fans and everybody have had an opportunity to talk, like now, the moment a you could take somebody takes a picture with their iPhone 13 Pro Max while standing on the roof of another building filming something down below, and it automatically gets ripped to shreds. Oh, that costume looks horrible. Why does it look like that? Oh, this is going to be terrible, because people are able to give an opinion right away.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you have something like Sonic, and if the movie actually gets pushed back so they make an adjustment, that's one thing. If it turns out that they're going to, oh, well, the fans have spoken and we apparently don't like this She-Hulk, so we're going to go back and redo all of the CGI on this show, so it's not going to be available in August as we initially planned. You're going to have to wait till November now so we can finish up everything that has to happen. If it goes down like that, then okay, fine. I'll retract my statement and say apparently Marvel messed up and they tried to pull the wool over our eyes. But this is Disney, this is Marvel, and we haven't had too many of their movies that haven't held up in terms of CGI. They are not victims of the CGI issue.
Well, I mean, I know there was definitely a bit of complaining after the fact with certain scenes in Black Panther. Mind you, the CGI looked great, but compared to the other Marvel movies, they really didn't put that much in because, I guess maybe they really didn't think that it was going to do that well.
And that there's certainly I will say that Black Panther probably shocked the hell out of Marvel. I don't think they expected it to be as big as it ended up being. I would agree that I don't think they make a movie and expect it to bomb. They hoped it would do well. Maybe they would break even, that kind of thing. They want to make every movie wants to turn a profit. I don't think they expected people to come out in droves and give it the type of support. And if they had, would they have spent more time on this, that, or the other?
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I think the bigger issue is it falls into what we're going to get with She-Hulk. Okay, so there's a couple of thoughts going through my head, and the first thing that comes to mind is I think the biggest flaw with something like the CGI in Black Panther is they had an opportunity to do a lot more practical effects, and they chose to take the route of CGI.
Yeah.
And having two fantastic actors that they had, they could have done a lot more practical effects and a lot more choreographed fights, and they would not have needed to rely as much on the CGI. But given the fight in the transport tunnel and things like that,
Even the casino one, I'm just kind of like,
they definitely could have done a lot more practical effects in terms of the casino. Because if the fact that people like Jackie Chan and Donnie Yen exist indicate you can do a lot of practical
yeah,
effects when it comes to hand. So that probably could have gone over a lot better. And I follow a lot of like black stunt women and martial artists on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and things like that. So they're out there, and casting, it could have been done. You could have just put out a call for it and put some unknowns who haven't gotten their big break, and they could have done that. When we get around to something like She-Hulk, She-Hulk is going to end up being, and this is speculation, but I would imagine it's going to end up being more of a character study, because while a lot of people know the character, they know the character exists. They're familiar with who the character is.
Mm-hmm.
Some may even know that she's related to Bruce Banner and why she herself is She-Hulk. Some people may even know that part. But what we're about to hear about, we're going to start hearing about the people, because they're just going to come out of the woodworks. Mark my words. I've been a She-Hulk fan since day one.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be those people who suddenly stand up and have an issue with it. And when you do a show like She-Hulk, I think the best way to cover this story is going to be to make it a character arc, to actually dive into who She-Hulk is and why her character has been so controversial, because she's a fourth wall breaking character.
Okay.
And the fact that she's a fourth wall breaking character, I could absolutely see this show being just as much comedy as it is action. But you have a Hulk.
Yeah.
And because even if it's She-Hulk, you have a Hulk. So we have to have things being picked up and being thrown and people being punched through buildings. And we still have to have the element of Hulk, because it's Marvel, it's MCU, it's Hulk. And now it's Jennifer Walters' Hulk. So there's certain things that people are still coming to expect. But I think making it more of a character study and leaning into the comedy would do this character justice. And if that's the case, you can get away and don't have to have as much CGI, so you can kind of reserve your budget to make sure that the CGI is up to par and it's quality. But at the same time, if you don't have at least half of your show with She-Hulk, excuse me, sorry. If you don't have half of your show with She-Hulk, people are going to feel robbed.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be like, "Oh, it could have been the Jennifer Walters show. This isn't She-Hulk. This is Jennifer Walters. It's totally different." So you're going to have people who are going to complain about anything and everything. Ty, welcome back. We got Ty in.
Ty. Which Ty is this? Which Ty is this?
This is Ty Longworth. He is actually the host of a podcast called Whiskelodian. That is a fantastic show that I think we talk about damn near as much as we talk about Weigh In Wednesdays, because it's such a great show, and I enjoy him doing the show, and I love listening to it. But yes, we are talking about She-Hulk, and we got Jeff. Jeff is hopped on. See, I told you. Let's see how accurate. With 10:08, they're early. Love it. I was like about 10:15. They'll pop in. That's about what time. So I just have to ramble till then. But they are here, and I know Jeff has some thoughts on She-Hulk. So whenever he's ready, he'll give me a thumbs up, and I'll bring him on. And Ty, I can. It's probably the same link. If not, I will. Oh, who is that one? See, I'm telling you, this is when they all come out, like the 10 o'clock show. Y'all just gonna make me move the show to 10 if this is how we gonna do. But yep. So we got DJ Fat Snacks, he's on. And so yeah, everybody jumps in at this point, and it's cool. And I love having my geeks with me, and we'll talk. So the link is on the side. So for anybody who wants to hop in, we're gonna go ahead and bring on Jeff. Jeff, we have Miss Midnight with us, Phoenix Midnight. She is our resident burlesque dancer. She is producer, director, showrunner, I'm sure writer. What else falls into that category?
Lush with an empty glass wine.
I understand, because I had quite a few beers at trivia, so I completely get it.
See, that's the thing there. Let's see.
Feel free to send me a link, because I enjoy burlesque quite a bit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No. It's a very fun, interesting show.
Yeah. That we'll leave it at that before I get myself in trouble. But you were saying She-Hulk, sir? I mean, I heard.
Yes. So my initial thoughts, of course, and we're gonna dive into the CGI, and that's kind of where we're starting. All right, Ty, I'm going to send you a link, and if you scroll to the top of this chat, there should be a link. Let's see, there should be a link in this one at the top of the page, but if not, shoot me a message and I'll send you a direct link if you need one. But my thought was we should have She-Hulk should be a character study for Jennifer Walters, but since we do have a Hulk, even if it is She-Hulk, we still have a Hulk. Things are still going to have to get smashed. Things are still going to have to get thrown. People are going to have to get punched through walls. Like, you can't do that. If you have a Hulk, you have to include that.
I agree. Violence and the Hulk go hand in hand.
Ty, welcome.
What's up, guys?
So while violence and the Hulk go hand in hand, and even She-Hulk, even from the trailer, we see that it looks like her ability is also triggered as a safety mechanism. Perhaps when she is threatened or she gets angry, it's going to be tied to the emotions the same way. So that's going to be a part of it. However, I think if first of all, and I'll go on record as saying it again, it is May. This show comes out end of August. I'm grateful we got a full trailer to at least get an idea of what this show was going to be.
Same.
But because they put out a trailer, we've already got people ripping into the CGI.
I can't fault them. It looks all 1980, 1990 as CGI. Like, I literally can see. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm spoiled. But in 2020, like, having seen the Avatar trailer and some of these other movies that have come out recently, I'm spoiled.
Okay, Avatar been in production for like 10 years.
Yeah. But it is amazing to look at. And to see the She-Hulk CGI, I'm like, okay, did they have a fifth grader do this on their computer? Because, like, it's bad.
It's not fifth grade bad, man. I've met fifth graders.
All right, ninth grade. I'm sorry. I'll upgrade it to high school.
The question
we got a full house. Love it.
The question is, who we got?
We got Heroic Hat in the house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, yo.
So the question is, was there a reason they released the trailer now? Because if they were trying to do it for like, oh, hey, it is for this particular reason, I get it. But we didn't need a trailer months in advance. It's nice, but we didn't need that.
Yeah, but that's what they do now. Hollywood wants to spit out a trailer months or a year in advance to garner interest. And I feel like the trailer might
garner interest. And if it's a bad trailer, it's going to do the exact opposite of what it's intended to do.
I just hopped in.
I don't necessarily say it was a bad trailer. I'm just hoping by the time the show actually comes out, they've touched up that CGI a little bit.
And they probably will. I mean, they've done this before. We've seen bad CGI in a trailer, and then it turns out it's fine. But can we get into the story?
I think to that point, before we do that, because the biggest complaint I've heard so far is only the CGI. And even from even some of the comments and the conversations I've just kind of read through and saw what everybody had to say about it, their complaint is that, much like you pointed out, Ty, if they put out a trailer at this point, they are subjecting themselves to the negativity that comes along with the bad CGI.
First impressions are everything.
Now,
I didn't get a bad first impression. I will say that.
Let me go on record as saying that if the CGI in the final product looks like the CGI from the show, they had better do a damn good job in the show.
And acting-wise, story-wise.
Story-wise, the jokes got a hit. Like
everything else about that show has to be on point.
If your food doesn't look good, it better damn well smell good and taste good, because otherwise no one's going to touch it.
Amen.
Exactly. And the reason I feel that way, and this is why I get kind of perturbed with people who are like on the very first like full trailer we've got, they're like, oh, it should be this. I agree that either A, you maybe shouldn't have put out a trailer until put out the trailer just before it comes out. But by then, you're hoping that people already know about it and that they're ready to watch it, and they're, setting their DVRs, if people still do that, and getting themselves ready for this show that's about to release. So you want to make sure that everybody knows She-Hulk is coming. You do teaser trailers, and I think they would have done better to give us a little bit more in terms of teaser trailer.
I agree.
But if the show is called She-Hulk, we can't go like 6 of 9 episodes looking at Jennifer Walters. I need some She-Hulk in episode 1.
That's true.
I agree.
Yeah, I feel that.
I can wait an episode. They can have an episode to launch it, and at the very end, show her be She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And show her to Hulk out
but
at
even
the end
then,
of the first episode, though.
But she got to be in that first
Episode
episode
1.
somehow.
Episode 1.
Ain't got to be the focus.
She-Hulk.
It's not. It doesn't have to be the focus, but she has to be in there somehow.
And I agree. I'm absolutely 100% on board with it being it could be the Moon Knight reveal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could literally be like right there at the end. Boom. I got a chance to see Moon Knight. That you can't say he wasn't in the first episode. He was there. You know what I'm saying? And that's all you need. So if the part we saw in the trailer where she's like the blades are turning and that's where she turns into She-Hulk for the first time, if that is the end of the first episode, she rips off the door, fade to black, roll credits, that works for me. I'm good with that because I've seen her in the first episode. Now, as Ty pointed out, as I've seen so many people online mention, I feel like it's way too early to be getting truly upset. I've seen arguments online. I've seen people like,
I agree.
I should be able to have an opinion, and if they put out hot doo-doo water and that, like, bruh, really?
First Amendment rights. Yeah, it protects you from the government, not me, bitch, run.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
I saw it.
People want to be angry about something because it gives them some sort of validation. It's really weird. They're being a little bitch about it. But it's just, why are you mad? Why are you mad, bro?
I was excited to see it. I'm happy that they released a trailer because She-Hulk is one of those lesser known characters.
True.
But at the same time, when I watched it, the CGI stuck out to me. I noticed it.
Agreed.
It wasn't something that went under the radar where I was like, I'll forgive it. I was like, wow, really? Marvel and Disney is putting this out, and that the Hulk and She-Hulk.
It definitely looked like it was CW quality CGI.
Oh,
I agree.
Yeah.
There you go. CW quality CGI.
But if we can get
that's
past
the best way to put this.
But if we can get past that, what they showed, let's break that down, because what they showed was beautiful to me. Like, you have Jennifer Walters, who seems like she gets like shitted on, and she was like that in the comics. And then you see like this awakening. She's now feeling confident. She's feeling like that ending where it's like, do you want to get fries? She's like, oh, let's take this to go. Like, she's having such confidence in herself that she's not having this like sexual awakening. And that's what happened in the comics. Like, I'm super excited.
She-Hulk is one of those few characters that I'm not comic book based like some of our geeks on this channel.
Yeah.
She-Hulk is one of those few that I actually know about.
Yeah. And then they had Tim Roth. Tim Roth looks like he's going to be
Abomination. Yeah,
yes.
bring him back. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm excited about.
The fact that he is Jennifer Walters' first superhuman client.
Yeah,
that has me super excited.
So I'm already like I'm asking Feige, do right. I'm asking you personally, do right. I need Matt Murdock in the courtroom somewhere.
I agree.
I've heard rumors that he is in it.
Like, he can't.
No Way Home, where he's like, I'm a really good lawyer.
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
Nah, we're throwing him at anything and everything at this point. Let's just let it happen.
We know.
I mean, he is Daredevil at this point.
But
we've heard Wong's going to be in.
Yeah, Wong. But see, it makes sense for Wong to be in it
Uh.
since we have Abomination confirmed. It makes sense for Wong because obviously Wong and Abomination do something based on what we saw in Shang-Chi. So we know that
Mhm.
they're kind of like teamed up, buddy buddy, and working together, whatever they're doing. And honestly, even all of the CGI wasn't bad. There was some CGI for her that was good. Hulk CGI, like Mark Ruffalo,
Mhm.
he still looks fantastic as Professor Hulk. He's on point, and I think he's gonna be fine. And because they already have so much footage for him, they've got his algorithm and everything.
Yeah, they
Not
didn't have
algorithm,
to build it from scratch.
right? Because they had to do her, and she's something new and different. I think that's why they're still kind of working on it, tweaking it. They've got to get it right. They've got to touch it up, but they've got enough test footage where they're able to work with the previs. They're able to work with the previs at this point because it's there. And so
I
that's why they're able to
I
put
agree
together
with
their
that.
trailer. And anybody who's watched the lead actress, the character playing,
Tatiana, oh yes.
if you've seen her in anything
Oh,
else, that should be your cue to kind of be like, it'll be all right. Even if the CGI, if that's the level we're gonna get, I feel like they could still pull off a decent show.
I mean, she can take my case anytime. But
I'll go commit some. No.
but
I'll
I
find a
will
reason to get in
say
trouble. Like,
one of the best comments I saw online about people arguing about it and stuff was the cheekbones. There's just something about her face in the CGI that's off. I can't necessarily. It's not that the CGI is bad. I think Ty nailed it when he said it was CW CGI. It's not Disney. It's not Marvel. It's not at that level they need to have it at.
and I
Well,
and I
it's not even that they had to have it at a certain level, but Disney has shown that they're willing to put the money in. So
well, one of the biggest complaints, or not the biggest complaints, but one of the comparable conversations has been we're also looking at a Disney Plus show compared to and just from that standpoint, if we're comparing any one of the Marvel shows and their budget versus the budget we would expect or the budget we would get from a movie. And I feel like you're talking about a 50 million versus the 500 million.
Yeah, but the problem here is that you're talking about Disney or Marvel versus
How do they
CW,
turn
like you said.
But
Like
how do they turn a
Disney
profit?
automatically makes me think of a certain standard.
And I get that. And if this was a Disney original, like have my kids are at the age where I've watched just about all of the Disney originals.
I
They
don't
don't
have kids, and I've seen them all.
they don't stick
So-
as much money in them as you think they would. They're actually kind of low budget. What's giving them the money for this is the fact that it's Marvel and it requires the CG.
can we just acknowledge that this conversation we're having right now, we're really complaining about a woman without her makeup on. And they're like, oh, but she has the makeup. Like, we get it. And if they
And
don't
when
improve,
when she shows up for the date, she's gonna show up however she shows up. And I'm gonna sit and have dinner with her.
yeah,
Hey,
you're gonna
regardless.
get those
I'm
fries.
sorry,
He's
but
gonna take you home.
I'm trying to have me some fries.
I'm single. I've learned that if you want to go out on a date with a woman, you take them swimming the first time because you will learn what they look like without makeup if you take them swimming. Don't take them to dinner. Take them to a pool.
You know, women do the same thing to make sure that the hair is not like painted on.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I agree. It
Mhm.
works both
That's
ways.
that's a
Women
thing now. You can get like, wow. I've
Trust me, I know.
stuff like,
I know.
man.
So
So as far as what they showed, as far as content, what do we think? Are we excited that Titania's in there? Are we?
See,
Oh, like-
I do have I've got a little bit of knowledge on She-Hulk, but only from the controversy standpoint and like from what I know from her is from her being an Avenger. I don't know much about her standalone run, her standalone comics, so I know her Avengers aspect. So
Well, Titania isn't
and
just
see, I
strictly
didn't pick up on
She-Hulk
the
either.
Titania aspect.
She came in She came in what, Secret Wars, I think.
Is that where she's from?
I have to go back and watch the trailer because I didn't even see Titania in it.
Yeah,
I picked
she's
up
in
on
there.
She-Hulk, Abomination. Like I already know from the comics that She-Hulk is much more of a team player than Hulk. She's been on several teams, like Avengers, Defenders. Like she's been a lawyer for a lot of superheroes. Like it's one of those. I don't know a lot, but I know more than I know than average.
Did we lose Phoenix?
Do what now?
Phoenix, she may have dropped out. We had her segment at the beginning.
Okay.
She had the first hour. We covered her burlesque show, and there's links and trailers and all types of cool stuff.
Phoenix, if you're still listening, I would love a link to a burlesque show. Or
I mean,
anything,
if we just giving the links out, I mean,
I'm just, hold on. Let me both hands up here. Like, I would love a link to a geek burlesque show, which I'm
the
sure
last
that
one I
you
saw
covered.
was Star Trek. It was Strip Trek.
Beam
was the
me
name
up,
of it.
Scotty. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Like,
it was an interesting show.
Well, I was hoping we
I'm
could
not
get
gonna
her
say
opinion
no.
because, like, I personally loved how they were portraying Jennifer Walters comic accurately as just like frazzled, not confident, kind of pushed over to just having that boost of confidence and like taking ownership. And
that's from the comics, though, too.
Yeah,
because,
it is.
Like, she actually had a syndrome, or what do you want to call it? A condition where she felt more comfortable as She-Hulk in the comics.
She couldn't go back.
She was a party girl.
Yeah, she couldn't go back to her regular self and still feel confident.
Which I get. If I could bulk up and turn into something invincible and green, bring it. So,
and the fact that she's so accepted in her She-Hulk form, you know, like I wouldn't change. And honestly, it's kind of funny because as we're watching Young Justice, we actually see a character that kind of has the same issue. Mary Marvel is kind of dealing with the same.
That was such a good episode.
She's dealing with the same issue because, of course, she's like,
I need to catch up.
She's gotten so accustomed to.
You do. It's so good.
It's a whole episode they have where they
agree.
cover
Young Justice is one of
with,
those ones I can't watch Young Justice and do something else.
Yeah,
I want to fully absorb those episodes.
Yeah, I just stop and focus in on that. But yeah, so I mean, I completely understand where that difference would come from, and it's one of those things where it's like the irony is that it's still her. So it's like you could make the argument that like, oh, it was inside you all along, but yeah, no, it's like Hulk thinks of Banner as puny Banner. Hulk is Hulk, Banner is Banner. So she doesn't have that separate mentality.
Yeah.
The same way. And that's what I'm saying. Like it's still her.
But for her, it's very much she didn't have self-confidence before. And now she has this, we'll call it a persona because it's still her, but it's basically she is now a better version of her. So it's not even based on something lasting. It's almost superficial of how much her confidence has grown. And I feel like that's probably going to play into the storyline or maybe Titania gets in her head because Titania kind of goes through the same thing where she doesn't really have a lot of self-love until I think it's Dr. Doom gives her her powers in Secret Wars. And then it's just very much of, well, now I'm a strong woman. And it's like,
so are we going to see a better version of Wonder Woman 84? Is that what you're saying?
I hope so.
Love the first one. Wonder Woman 84.
But I mean, technically though, that's kind of the same theme.
84 confused me.
That's one of the same themes. We're not going to dive into 84 but that was one of the themes where you have this female character who's, you know, and of course, and Denise and I've kind of talked about this before on a show we did. Why Did I Watch That? We covered a couple of funny ones, but we covered Catwoman, and we talked about how in cinema they always like the way that you know the character, especially when it's a female character. She's mousy and quiet, and her clothes are too big, and you know somebody bumps into her, she drops her stuff, and no one helps her. It's like no one knows that she's there.
Cute glasses and a messy bun.
Right.
Bingo.
Yeah, exactly.
Bingo. That's how you know that she's the main female and that she's the. And so then to show this transition, all you have to do is give her a makeover. And once you give her this makeover and you show her
Straight
being a little
hair,
bit more
tight clothes.
confident, and now she's gonna be the one she's like, not you, you, and you.
Right.
Okay, come this way. It's like, oh, well, look at her. She's a strong, confident woman. And it's such bullshit sometimes. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's
get
really,
that.
in my opinion, demeaning for the character. And that's why the very first thing I said is like, what's going to make this show good is if we make this a character study on Jennifer Walters.
Yes.
You've got Hulk because she can turn green and she's big and she's strong. So there's going to be shit that gets thrown. There's going to be stuff that gets punched. But what's going to make this show good is if we make it a character study on Jennifer Walters. And it's even greater because she's a fourth wall breaking character. Have her stop and talk to the camera.
I agree.
Yeah, you know what?
She was breaking the fourth wall long before Deadpool in the comics.
Yep.
Before it was cool.
And-
Yeah.
and
Before it was cool.
Before it was
Give
cool,
me 50% her smashing stuff and give me some courtroom drama. I want to see some superhero law
show me some
asking
single female
witnesses
lawyer.
stuff like, so
Right.
when the Hulk smashed your car, what did you feel? Like, I'm down for some Law and Order type situation.
I want suits.
Is she now a
with the green
therapist?
chick as
How
the
does that
lead.
make you feel?
Right. I mean, especially with the Johnny Depp, Amber Heard stuff going on lately. Give me some courtroom
Yeah.
drama scenes with She-Hulk, and then cut to her
Objection.
being
Hearsay.
right. But have her get mad and Hulk out and smash the counter.
Objection. Hearsay.
Right.
Actually, I think there might have been a clip of that in the.
There
in the
is a
trailer.
scene where it looks like there is a fight that breaks out in the courtroom.
Oh, word?
I've
Bring it.
I need
Bring
I need
it.
to
if
find
it were
that.
possible for me to okay, so we'll have to like be quiet. You know what? Maybe I'll try muting it. YouTube gets really weird the way their stuff works, and Disney be like real quick to find your stuff and flag it.
Man, I don't care about Disney. Disney's bullshit right now.
They on
Disney,
their own
please
thing.
sponsor us.
Yeah,
Oh.
like that's all I want. And so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that, and let me see. So, all right, let me put a
admit, like,
timestamp.
as far as YouTube goes, I get on and watch my news every morning. That's it.
Okay,
Other than that, I get most of my
Timestamp
stuff from
is-
Facebook or
hour and 28 minutes. That's because I may have to like mute this segment.
yeah.
Because they be on their thing. So if I have to mute
Oh
this
yeah,
segment,
there's
no.
even like 4 notes of a Disney song in there. They're like, no.
Nope.
Well, no, what I did, I turned off the audio. So
Boy,
I've got-
that's generous.
I've got the audio muted, and so with the audio muted and it's just us talking, it
Right.
hopefully we'll be fine. So there's the suit
Nope.
that's
I
looking
see
a
the
little,
word Marvel.
suit's a
Strike
little-
it down. Strike it down.
a little
Cut
large,
it.
a little baggy, and you know what I'm saying? It's like it doesn't
Tim
look
Roth
like
right there.
a sharp suit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So like if she
Now,
was a
that's
power
obviously
attorney,
Smart Hulk
yep, Professor Hulk.
from Endgame. So,
You see,
so
it?
this
So it's
is
like
post Endgame,
Yeah.
just like Moon Knight.
turn off the captions.
Uh,
That
so-
part had me laughing.
To see, like right there, to me, that is the end. So that was one of those scenes where, like that one where she looked over her shoulder. That's another one where the CGI is kind of like iffy. You can tell that she's like dropped in that scene right there. She's clearly not a part of the image, and it's not even like green screen drop in. It's like clearly CG. But right there, that's fine.
Right there.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
So
that's
that was
not bad, actually.
So let's see if we
Bro, it's
I'm not going to
after
say that the
Oh, I know.
CGI is bad. It just needs to be touched up just a hair.
So you know what
before
the
it
worst
actually
part
comes out
about
in August.
you know
So
what the worst part about this is for me, and this might just be a me thing. I don't like the logo. I honestly do not like the logo.
She-Hulk.
That's what it is
Attorney
for
at law.
the comics, though.
And I know, but I've never liked the logo. I don't know why. Like I said, it could just be a me thing. I just don't like the logo for She-Hulk.
So
Sam drinking out of that tumbler is going to make me go get my Superman tumbler. So I'll be right back.
it's not a contest, but if you got one, get one.
I mean, and mine's all wood. Yours is plastic. They're both beautiful because they're Superman. I'll be right
Is
back.
that
'cause
somebody
I need
at
beer.
my
Did I just hear
door?
someone's doorbell?
Yeah. Okay. I have no. What time is it? Because I kind of already know who this is, and so ignore what you hear for the next little bit because it's gonna be some words exchanged, like you ringing my doorbell at this time. But Tom, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you and let you finish up this trailer.
All right. So
Was that Agent Bob? Was that Agent Bob?
I don't know, but that was also Titania we just saw as well. If you want to scroll back to that.
Okay, we will try to catch that. It was about before that.
Right there.
There it is. Got it. Hold on.
So that's a weird ass costume, I will say.
Yeah.
But it looks like Titania breaks into the courtroom.
Now I'm ready, Sam. So
You're fine. Come on in. I was literally thinking it was going to be somebody different, but it is you. Here you live here. You get it. Oh, ow.
Did you like step on your tumbler?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So welcome back. I did not hear any words exchanged. I was a little disappointed.
No. It was an appropriate visit. I will say that it was an appropriate visit.
Okay. But that's what
so Sam, real quick.
My son is ill, and
what is your tumbler from? Classic Superman.
Yes.
And then what is mine from?
That looks like that's Man of Steel.
Okay.
That's that first Man of Steel one.
I got this for Christmas from a friend. So it's got a Yeti inside, that kind of stuff. So I use it every chance I get.
Cool. So there we've got our Titania.
I'm not digging the costume. I'm just gonna say that. But the costume
is that like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Like, because I feel like that's Stifler's mom kind of costume.
Makes more sense.
I didn't even pick up that was Titania because of that.
Yeah. And then there's also another character they introduced. It looks like Frogman or whatever his name is in the comics.
Don't make no sense.
Toad?
That's why I was thinking maybe it was Agent Bob.
Are we talking Toad from X-Men or
Hydra Bob?
Hydra Bob, really?
No, there's he was in the Iron Man comic where he like fights Tarzan, whatever his name is. Let me see if I can find his name. But if you scroll back a little bit, he's in there.
And see, all right,
yeah,
that's
that is very plausible. Because
that's my number one problem with trailers today is they try to pack so much into the trailer that you have to watch it 5, 6, 7 times to get everything.
But that's what I enjoy.
I don't. I watched the first teaser trailer and that's it.
Yeah.
I will not watch any more She-Hulk trailers after this.
So just based
not even
on
to make sure that the CGI is good.
No. I will wait until the show comes out and then make my judgment then because they will ruin something for me off of future trailers, especially the trailer that releases the week or two before the show comes out. They will show something that happens in episode 5 or 6 or whatever.
Not for
TV.
They
shortened it.
Usually they're very good with TV, sticking with the first 2 episodes.
Movies tend to be the worst.
Movies are the worst. Like after the second or third trailer with Doctor Strange, I had to stop watching because they're giving away too much.
I still have not seen anything besides the teaser trailer. I'm waiting until I can see Doctor Strange 2. And even though anytime I'm on Facebook and I'm scrolling and I see a meme or something about it, I hide it because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. I'm typically good with the first teaser and the first official trailer. After those, I have to skip all the other ones because then they
Now,
can't really rehash the same content a different way, so they start showing new footage. And every time you start getting new footage, that's when you really start getting stuff ruined.
now
So
I will say this with
Marvel does
like
add new
shows.
footage. They add some fake footage in there too.
They do.
I don't mind fake footage actually, but like with the boys and stuff, I have to at least see the Red Band trailer when it comes to a show like the boys.
Just for David.
Oh yes,
It's so out there.
I'm
It's
so excited
so
for that.
adult. It's so there. Like I have to see what they're really doing because like I watched that Boys season 3 trailer and I was like, OMG, like I cannot wait. I loved the animated stuff that came out with recently. I've watched it 3 times already.
Speaking of which, is that not Mother's Milk right there? It's
Yeah.
not, but like it
It's
looks
really
a lot
close.
like
It's
him.
not.
It's not him, but that looks so much like him, and I just thought it was crazy.
I
We were
agree.
talking about the boys.
I
Same
totally thought
beard,
that was
same-
Michael J. White.
I could see that too.
Yeah.
Like I thought, I was like, oh, this is gonna be his Marvel intro, but yeah, like this right here.
I'll admit, I
She's
was kind of
having
mad at
that
the end of
confident sexual
Eternals.
awakening. She's carrying him ass to bed.
Yeah, it's
I feel like Eternals, the end credit scene where you hear Blade's voice, but you don't actually see him. I would have loved to at least have it cut to him for a moment. Show me Blade. Show me, him in character, and have him be like, "Are you sure you're ready for that, Blade?" Instead of just letting me hear his voice.
I think a couple things. I don't think they have the costume finalized, and
I
they want to
agree.
introduce something and then change. I'm personally okay that they didn't show him. It would have been super cool, but like I'm kind of like that they're leaving it a mystery.
I get it, but for the average person, like I've had to explain to so many people who that voice was.
Mm.
I like at work and my friends, and they're like,
but
I don't get what's the Blade in the box. Well, who's that voice? I was like, well,
but honestly, no.
Then
I
seemingly
think
wouldn't
that's-
have changed that.
I think that's what they want. That I mean, honestly, when the whole point is to, and even with She-Hulk, I think the one and only instance where we truly can say that the fans having a voice and bitching about something made a difference might have been Sonic, because they came out and said, "Hey, we heard you. We'll fix this,"
and they did.
and they did.
So,
But I genuinely believe like they had that whole movie ready to go and it was going to release. They did that and it was just, but this is Marvel.
Yeah,
And we're going to watch this no matter what.
Marvel's earned the benefit of the doubt. Oh,
I
Marvel's
agree.
earned the benefit of the doubt.
True.
Kevin has earned the benefit of the doubt.
I
That
mean-
man is a genius when it comes to linking.
I mean, this is the Office meme. They're the same picture.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's one of those things where even something like Iron Fist that was just so off. Everything around Iron Fist was good.
Yeah.
Even in the show, everything around Iron Fist was good.
I agree.
It's just who they cast, and that was also not Kevin Feige.
And it wasn't even who they cast. It was his fight scenes. He looked like he had never done karate a day in his life.
Right.
And
No, I want to say it's him.
if it was
No,
in
I
fact-
liked him.
No. And the funny
So-
thing is, even if it had been, he had to go on this journey to learn how to be Iron Fist, I could have been better with that. But he comes back and he's supposed to already be this master.
Yeah,
If nothing else, let's just dumb it down to you, One Punch Man. Like that's what you needed to do, and it would have worked. Like let your fist glow, and every fight ends with a punch. That way, you don't have to do martial arts.
I see
Then-
that because
then we
I
could
love
get
One
away
Punch
with it.
Man for the grocery cart scenes, and I wanted to go to Bargain Barn. Like it's not actually him hitting something; it's his character outside of the fight scenes that I love
Yeah.
about One Punch Man.
And when you take something like Iron Fist, like I said, everything around it was so good. And I feel like that's kind of what we're going to get in this case with She-Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Like I genuinely believe that everything that's around the show as a whole is going to be good. We know we've got Tim Roth Abomination, at least an episode. So we know that's a good episode. I feel very confident that we've seen a lot of the things we've seen because other things were in the pipeline. And as David mentioned a moment ago, everything's connected. Feige didn't just give us like technically any lawyer could have been the lawyer in No Way Home.
Yeah.
But
Any
it
lawyer
being Matt Murdock made me like, sweet. And
Well,
I sat
far
back
from
and
home.
listened.
Being
So-
Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock.
being Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock.
Yes.
And-
you could have dropped any lawyer in there, but you have Matt Murdock. Why not use him?
I'm a really
Absolutely.
good lawyer. Yeah, that
So-
line alone.
And so this would have been an opportunity where if they really wanted to like plant an Easter egg or something like that, they could have got Jennifer Walters as Jennifer Walters to be the lawyer in that scene. And it would have been connected. But
I don't know if that would
now,
have worked though. Just because the fact that in the comics, Jennifer Walters wasn't the greatest lawyer until she became She-Hulk and had the confidence.
but as an Easter egg, it would have been something like a nice little one of those things to connect. And so I think the reason I'm looking forward to seeing Daredevil is because Daredevil did show up as the lawyer in the Spider-Man movie. And since we know Spider-Man is MCU canon, that is where we get our connection. So we now have this legal eagle over here,
I love that YouTube channel.
Yeah.
and we've now got this one over here, and we have to kind of watch. And then from the trailer, I guess it's like her boss or the head of the firm she's at wants to open up this special division. And since we know the timeline that this takes place, we've seen Spider-Man on trial. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know this whole Spider-Man thing took place, and that would be all the more reason.
But there's a story there. If you look at it, it looks like who they're representing aren't the heroes.
And see, I
But the
need some
villains.
superhero drama in the courtroom. I need to see Joker level villains. I need
Birdman,
to see some,
attorney at law.
right. I need to see some, but done Marvel style.
I think
I need to see the Hulk on
think it's gonna
trial
work.
for destroying property. I want that as a geek. I want to see them putting Iron Man on the stand
that feels like an episode of Robot Chicken,
Right.
and I would
and
watch the hell
asking
out of
questions.
that episode.
Exactly.
But it's interesting to me that they're showcasing her having to represent villains. And it's making it seem like this firm opening up this superhuman division instead of superhero division
Right.
is more so a publicity / kind of a money grab. It's less about let's represent the heroes. It's no. This is not going to go well, but we're going to still profit from it. Jennifer Walters, we're now putting you in charge. Like, just from the trailer, she doesn't have the respect of the company. It wasn't like, oh, she's almost made partner. Hey, you're going to head this whole division. No, that she was the pushed over person.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious for that courtroom drama of them wanting it to fail, or at least fail in a way that profits them, but then Jennifer Walters actually makes it successful.
But
And having that courtroom drama in the company.
The geek in me has always read a comic and been like, I don't know if my car insurance covers the Hulk tossing my car at a building.
It's not
I
that
don't know
done.
if my home insurance covers Iceman freezing the whole damn thing. I've always thought about that kind of stuff when I read the comic. Like, what would happen in the real world?
There was
People suing each other and all this stuff if superpowers were real.
There was
So
a
I hope
TV
that
show.
the She-Hulk delves into it. It was short-lived and it wasn't that great. I can't remember what it was called, but it was more about the cleanup crews and the people behind the messes that superheroes or super people
Ooh, I
left.
vaguely remember that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't actually watch it. I heard about it. It didn't actually catch with the general public. It's one of
Damage control, that's what it was.
those damage.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. That
It's
sounds
one of
right.
those
Yeah.
like I thought about checking it out, and then like they canceled it after one season, and I was like, one season, eh. So like I need at least 2 or 3 seasons of something.
You know
Firefly
what?
is one of the few shows that I've ever watched one season of and went, wow.
There's Sam, you, Jeffrey, and I, and Jeff, you can join in too. We need to write a series of a image consultant trying to help heroes or villains better their public image.
And you know what? Hancock did that really well.
I was
They
about to
did.
say we got to get
Yeah.
Jason Bateman for that.
Yeah, when he's sitting there talking to Hancock and about like, don't really do that. Like, I was like, you know what? In a real world situation, they would have a PR agent.
They would completely have a publicist. But you know what? That
It
kind
would
of
have been
falls into,
fought.
I was about to say that makes me think of The Boys. That makes me think of The Boys, where it's like soup. And you know what?
Pepper
Okay,
Potts did that for Iron Man.
it's formulating. Hold on. So, Superhero Inc. That is. Let me Google that because
I do enjoy The Boys, not just for the over the top adult situations they put them in, but also showing the PR point of it.
Yeah.
Like when you watch the animated series, and there was that one episode about, I can't even remember the name of the character, where he's getting an award, but he's high on coke and superhero drugs.
Anima Coke.
Yeah, like it was great.
My favorite
Or-
one of the animated series was the one.
DJ, see if you can find. Hold on, real quick. See if you can find the other one because I think the one that you're thinking about is the same one I'm thinking about. The other one, Damage Control, is about the people who did the cleanup. But there was one that was, I want to say it had something to do with like the insurance firm aspect of it, where you could in fact file a claim because someone got thrown into a building and the building fell on your car.
Wasn't that The Incredibles?
No,
I
it
don't-
was
no,
it
I
was
don't think
it
that
was a
was familiar.
TV show.
The
And
Incredibles talked about,
I want to say it was
that
on like
part
the
of it.
CW.
Yeah.
I want to
but
say
it was always off screen. It was
That
never
was
like
the whole
shown.
that was the whole crux of them having to go into hiding.
Into
rather.
hiding, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they discussed it, but it was never actually shown on screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, my favorite of the animated boys was the Aquafina episode. I don't know if you guys talked about the Diabolical yet, but just the fact that her power is controlling shit just
Oh my
had
gosh.
me
Yeah.
dying.
Yes, I mean that one, and also the one with the kids who got crappy powers
Yes.
were my 2 favorite episodes. Like The Boys Diabolical is an animated show that added to the universe that was done right.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like it took anything away from the 2 seasons that have come out or the 3rd season that's about to come out, but it made me love that universe that much more.
So let me ask you this: Do we enjoy the anthology side of it? Like, did we like Star Wars Visions? Did we like?
I loved it.
I did too.
Powerless. That's the name of the show. Powerless.
Oh shit! With Jamie
Okay.
Foxx and
That's
Nope.
yeah, ooh,
Nope,
I
hold on,
completely
hold
forgot
on.
that.
And see that's the
up.
problem nowadays is
I
that there's
kept
so
seeing
much stuff
Vanessa
that comes
Hudgens.
out.
Nope. I kept seeing Vanessa Hudgens in my head. Powerless. And that is the show. It is follow the staff of an insurance company specializing in products to protect defenseless bystanders from the collateral damage of superheroes and supervillains.
And I'm sorry,
Powerless.
if superpowers were real, I would carry superhero insurance. I'd be like, yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
if the
no.
Hulk's going to come down to Tennessee and throw my car.
Yeah, no,
I'm going to go
I'll
ahead and pay
premium.
that at $10 extra.
Yeah, I'll pay that premium. No, there's no way in hell.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you, if you live in Metropolis, if you live in
New York.
Gotham, if you live in
Yeah.
New York, all of that insurance is included
At standard.
in your policy.
yes.
You
It
don't
have
get
to
to
be.
take that out.
It would
Right.
have to be because you're 3 months away from finishing paying off your car, and then fucking Hulk comes out of nowhere and just tosses your shit to the ocean. Like, nah, I need that standard, please.
What would suck is if you're in Smallville, Kentucky,
Oh, jeez.
and you don't make the connection because we as people outside see it, but in the universe, you don't think, oh, Superman. So like you're in Smallville, you're doing your thing, and then all of a sudden Lex Luthor attacks Superman. You're like, what the hell?
Why here?
Why I just finished paying
There
off
gonna
my
be so
car.
many
Like,
people suing LexCorp, and
I just had this fence built. Like, come on, man, Jesus.
Right. And the funny thing is, like, even going back to Smallville, I really felt like they often kind of looked and said to themselves, just
oh,
let
that
you
looks
pop that up.
hilarious.
Right. And I'm like, why didn't it work? The casting was awesome.
Wait, is that now Funchess?
what?
Yeah.
All right. There was another show that came out on, I think it's on Hulu. There was only like a season or two that was about like Magneto's kids, and I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, you're
But
talking
it just
about
didn't.
The Gifted.
It just didn't. The Gifted. It just didn't catch on. I'll admit, I didn't watch it. So the problem is there's so much that comes out nowadays. I can't get to everything.
Well, because
But
it's
The
not
Gifted-
centralized.
The Gifted didn't catch on, even though it might have been a great show and it was about Polaris and Magneto's kids and geek
Well, I mean, maybe
wise.
it was. Because they had another
Geek-wise,
one.
it could have added so much to the universe,
They had
but
the
it
Runaways.
just didn't
which was really
catch.
good.
Yeah. Runaways.
Yeah, that was another one.
But like
So,
you just
yeah.
had Hailstrom that did not do well.
And what was the one with not Cerebro,
Cloak and Dagger.
Cloak and Dagger? Yeah, it was, but it was the one where his brain split and all that stuff. Like it was
Legion.
Legion. That was the one
David
that I was thinking of that was really good, but it just didn't catch with the general public.
They did
So
3
after a
seasons.
season, yeah, but I don't consider. Unfortunately, I'm spoiled now. 3 seasons is nothing because it takes almost 2 seasons before I even hear about it. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is one of the few that I've watched all the way through.
I'm
And
so
I
sorry.
wish it was connected. I agree, but the life model decoys and Ghost Rider and some of the things they introduced.
Ghost Rider was a nice touch, but everything around it was just like, really? Ada?
I just wish it was connected to the MCU though, because Phil Coulson alone made that show.
They had a few that tied in. So like they had like Winter Soldier tie-in.
And then they had what's her name from Thor.
What show?
He's talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Or no, you're asking who
Yeah.
it's about.
Somebody was just made a comment, said they liked that show. We've mentioned a couple. I want to know which one he liked. So the one from Thor, are we talking about Darcy?
No, the superhero, the Asgardian woman.
Oh,
she actually did a
Sif?
guest spot on
Sif.
Agents of. Yes,
Yeah,
Sif.
because she was coming after.
She showed up as an
Enchantress.
actual person in the show for like an episode.
Yeah.
But overall, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. might have talked about MCU events and referenced certain things, but as far as guest spots and actual people from the MCU showing up, Sif was one of the few.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime the MCU has a very like you know what, since we have now gotten shows like Loki and without spoiling anything, we've been introduced to the multiverse. It is very easy to accept and believe that all of these are separate universes, and you know what I'm saying? It's like there's a whole question of Coulson being in the movies, but also being on the show, and he became like a main character on the show after he died. It like wait, so is he dead or not?
But I have to give credit to the show that they actually delved into that and explained it and went into detail about what happened to him and Tahiti and all that stuff. Like they didn't just like ignore it and be
Right,
like,
they didn't
oh,
gloss
it was in
over
the.
it. They didn't gloss
So
over it, but again, that's one of those things where like,
But
from
they
a
didn't connect
casual,
it back because it was very much of if you had the Avengers be like, oh, Coulson's back, yay! They kept that a secret, and then he basically had to be on the side. He wasn't really. I mean, I guess he was a part of Shield until Shield was taken down. But it was just very much. He never got to interact with the Avengers again.
and see, I wanted more
Right.
guest spots. I wanted
Almost like a
more
demotion.
Sif type moments.
Like if he
Where
could have been
Thor
in Winter
shows up.
Soldier helping Samuel L. Jackson lay low,
that would have made a huge difference in the story.
yes.
And that's kind of my issue with Coulson, because like Maria Hill has been Maria Hill the entire time. And even when Shield stopped being Shield because it was really Hydra and they moved on, Maria Hill went back to being CIA. Like she went to CIA.
Oh yeah, sorry guys.
And-
Spoiler alert.
Actually, she did an interview with Stark Industries. I finished watching. I'm starting to watch the shows in chronological order. They show at the end of Captain America and the Winter Soldier, they show her interviewing for Stark Industries.
Right. And I
So-
think the idea being that she would be in charge of the tech to kind of keep it from falling in the wrong hands and stuff like that. And especially like given the split, that was her way of being team Stark versus Team Iron Man
Unfortunately,
versus Team Cap.
I'm old enough now that I have to admit that I only see her in How I Met Your Mother. Like, even as she acts in an MCU movie, I still see her from How I Met Your Mother, because that's where I was introduced to her.
When she was in that for so long, that had a number of seasons.
I
so
mean,
that's-
great show.
It was
Great
more than
show.
3 seasons, so you're stuck on that.
See, and I've
So
seen
I've
them all.
definitely
I've
heard
seen them
about
all.
it.
Right.
So
Now, I think one of the big differences though is because like when we talk about some of the other Marvel shows, you know, like they had Defenders and Luke Cage and Daredevil and Punisher and Jessica Jones, they name dropped and they talked about and hinted around and leaned into. They, you know, there was an article on the wall that said the Battle of New York, which, you know, was all about the Hulk. They talk about at some point somebody says something to like, well, if you've got a metal suit or a hammer that makes you fly, blah 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 blah. They reference and they talk about the Avengers, and so you know that it exists in the same world, in the same universe, in the same place. And because none of the heroes from the Defenders group are really on par to do battle that the Avengers have done. But it's hard to make that argument because we got Hawkeye and Black Widow running around being Avengers. So,
and see, that's one thing I like about the boys is that they pretty much say, look, there's neighborhood superheroes and then there's superheroes.
right.
So, and they market them accordingly.
I
Whereas
felt like it was the same.
in the MCU, if you gave me, if I'm watching Moon Knight and I see Daredevil banner go by on a bus talking about, if you're a superhero, call me, and it's Charlie Cox from Daredevil, I would love that Easter egg.
Yeah.
Or if, you know, Iron Fist or Luke Cage or Jessica Jones.
See a
So,
hero,
we
see a hero
gotta
for
give-
hire.
We got to give some grace because at the time you had, I think it was like Jeff Loeb or there's some other person in charge of Marvel TV.
Right.
And so it wasn't until later that Feige got control of the TV side as well.
Right.
And so I think someone was saying that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was canon. Is it? I mean, it was at the time, but since Kevin Feige's taken over, like we, of course, not referencing it. And maybe they might pick and choose some stuff, but it's very much now they actually have everything on the equal setting all across the board.
I
It
agree.
can't really be
'Cause-
canon because it would actually create loopholes.
So many paradoxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
mean, the
would
Dark
create.
Hold being one of them.
And that
Bingo.
gets into the alternate universes, that kind of thing. Because, like, I feel like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is included, but it's almost like it's in an alternate timeline or alternate universe versus the actual MCU. Because the Inhumans and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tried to work together, but Inhumans flopped. And I haven't seen Doctor Strange 2, but I've had some stuff ruined for me. So, spoilers. I know that Black Bolt and some other things have happened in Doctor Strange 2.
Right.
So to have that referenced in the MCU, I feel like almost it makes like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Inhumans semi-canon. I wouldn't say that they're 100% canon, but they're at least referenced. So it will make you go back and watch those shows.
It's good to make them. If the idea is to get you to watch this, watch that, and be a part, and being more involved in that regard, I'm all for it. And that's fantastic. Run it. But
Guys, I've got a call I've got to take. I'll be right back.
Cool.
All right.
I think the biggest issue is if in fact if they remain in separate universes, or if they remain completely separate from one another. Every single thing that has the word DC on it doesn't have to be tied in, because then you start like really having to ask, well, what about this or what about that? Because the very first thing that came up with Inhumans is everybody's like, well, if y'all got all these powers, why y'all ain't help? Why y'all let Thanos do what Thanos did? And they're like, well, it wasn't really our mission. Like, okay, but y'all did all this other stuff. Y'all intervened and was a part of all these other things that happened, but this was the one you was like, oh yeah, that's above my pay grade. Granted, I'm gonna do these other things that's way out of my pay grade, but I felt like doing those. I don't want to do that. It becomes messy and muddy, and when you start trying to make every single little thing connected, because even though you can't tell me that Luke Cage wouldn't have been like a major freaking help when Loki's army was coming into town. He would have been helpful. He would have been very helpful. Jessica Jones would have been pretty helpful. You know what I'm saying? If Natasha was able to do anything and help out and be useful under the circumstances, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure these other people could have been utilized very properly. So if in fact if it gets to remain separate and not be a part of the larger MCU, I'm okay with that, because it's one less thing that has to be retconned at some point to make it make sense. And that's kind of where I feel like why the Marvel shows are good to stand alone. They can be connected to one another, and that's fantastic. But trying to bring those into the larger MCU, it starts making it could get very muddy very easily. Now, if they're careful and they do it right, sure, they can pull it in, and then in our head we can just say, well, it's all canon, it's all part of the MCU. But I feel like somebody like the Punisher would have come up and been on somebody's radar.
Yeah.
With the body count he has, something would have come up from that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's, I mean, she was standing there. She was, doing her thing. Her job is to protect the Sanctum Sanctorum. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what she does. As long as she protecting that stone, life is good for her. She don't care what the rest of y'all do. We here, we taking care of this. And so, Iron Fist probably could have punched the big flying worm that Hulk punched, and Hulk could have been over somewhere else doing something else that he needed to be doing. Point is, where was Moon Knight when all of this was taking place? Was he dusted for 5 years? You got to start answering those kind of questions. And now it's like you get to the point that you nitpick every little piece of it, because, like you said, we've gotten spoiled to the point where I need an explanation. I need an answer. I want to know, was Mark dusted for 5 years? Because it's going to matter to me. It really doesn't. It doesn't change the story. Half the population was dusted for 5 years, and then suddenly they came back. So all of that type of stuff, it gets to be muddy. I like that some things are in fact separate, and that not everything that has the Marvel logo has to be part of the MCU. Stuff existed before that. Stuff is going to exist after that. And if we get to a point where the only thing that's out there is MCU, we're going to really shoehole ourselves into this box. We're going to paint ourselves into this corner that eventually we're not going to be able to get out of. And that's where we're going to hit superhero fatigue ultimately. It's nice when you have a little crossover, a little tie-in here and there, but the whole reason some people still like the DCEU is just for the variety, just for something different. Because if you're not Team Cap and you're not Team Iron Man, at some point you start to get bored. Because if everything's got to be about Iron Man, now finally you're getting some new stuff. For a while, it was like everything kind of followed their arcs and their stories. And matter of fact, you know what, Ty? It goes right back to our conversation last week. I got to get more Mandalorian and less Skywalkers.
Yeah.
And if Marvel isn't going to continue to break new ground, if they're going to just rely on the same thing over and over and over and over and over, because let me tell you something. I like Doctor Strange, but damn, he going to be in every movie? Like,
I mean, he was just in the last two.
Doctor Strange has been in Doctor Strange,
Okay,
Thor.
so overall, I was just saying that recently. Like, he's
Right.
He wasn't in the Captain Marvel movie. He wasn't like I guess they're trying to give him a mentorship with Spider-Man because of his whole thing with Iron Man, but it's just like it was limited.
Right. And mind you, he's been kind of a background, like he's well, I'm not just gonna say congratulations because that sounds like I'm being condescending. I'm glad that he got
It's Doctor Strange, right?
Right. Like I'm glad that he got his second solo movie. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm happy about that. And it is getting to the point where like every movie, and it's not a bad thing, not a bad thing. Every movie is becoming more and more crossover. If you go back and you look at some of the original movies, it was like Iron Man had his movie. He was in it. Iron Man 2, his movie. He was in it. Iron Man 3, his movie, he was in it. Captain America, his movie, he was in it. Captain America 2, that was everybody's movie.
Captain America 3, even more everybody's movie.
That was even more everybody's movie. You know what I'm saying? And you look at what they've done with Thor. Now it's actually worked in Thor's favor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like they're kind of recognizing that the formula is you can't just have one hero and do a story with that one hero because we've built this universe and that's my friend from work. So you got to interact with that dude. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to have somebody and somebody else in every movie. And what did we have in the last one? Doctor Strange, we had Wanda. So going in, it could have been Doctor Strange and Wong, and we should have had a whole Baron Mordo thing. But we knew we were going into the multiverse of madness, and so they went that route, and that's fine. That's okay. I was still waiting to find out what Baron Mordo was going to do. And I thought Doctor Strange's second movie should have been focused all on him having to deal with the fallout from Mordo.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That is what I was expecting before they came out with the multiverse one. But you had the Eternals. The Eternals didn't have anyone else in it besides the Eternals.
But it was like 12 of them. So they didn't need nobody else. They was a group in and of themselves. Matter of fact, they had enough
ties
people.
to them.
Wait.
The reason why they're adding other people is because we have ties to them.
And I absolutely get that. I absolutely get that. But see, again, huh? Oh, not talking to me. The reason I know sometimes I get passionate. We get to talking, especially like once it starts feeling like a debate. Right, it starts feeling like a debate. And I know I'm just making sure I'm not getting loud. But like one of the things that was pretty good and pretty cool about Moon Knight was Moon Knight didn't have any ties to any other stories or any other story arcs or anything else that was happening. It was just his own standalone. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just him and what he had going on. Because that's one of those things where it's like, spoiler alert if you haven't watched all of Moon Knight, but I feel like there were certain things. Look, so just watch. I feel like there were certain things in Moon Knight that would have gotten a lot of people's attention and would have had some people coming in and being like, unless Doctor Strange was busy, and he was like, takes his coffee, goes outside. We looking at the sky, do this bit. He's like, nope, and goes back in because you know what I'm saying. He's like, yeah, I'm not. That's above my pay grade. That's because the only thing that's going to make something like that happen, that's not a spell that could have done that. You know what I'm saying? Like that has to be a
Yeah.
whole deity.
Right.
I'm not getting in that. No harm, no foul. We good. I need answers because like how we just go gloss over the fact that happened because that happened real time. Hera was in another place and saw it happen. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to be. That's where our suspension of disbelief comes in, and that's what makes all of these things work. Because when you really start to sit down and nitpick and complain, and every single thing has to have an explanation and be connected because it's so real, you have people that will like ruin it for you and destroy it and pick it all the way apart. And so I'm excited that we have all of these different avenues to go. And there are times when I believe there is an appropriate reason to have the connection. There's an appropriate reason to throw this Easter egg in or have this cameo or have this person show up in the show because it makes sense for them to do so. It makes sense to have our MCU confirmed Charlie Cox / Daredevil show up in a show called She-Hulk Attorney at Law. If they had just called the show She-Hulk, if we didn't see the courtroom, if we didn't know that she was going to be heading up this special department at her firm, then having another lawyer in the show wouldn't make sense. But the fact that you specifically have Charlie Cox as a lawyer and specifically have this part, we already have it. It'd be a shame not to use it.
Exactly.
And so I thought it would have been real cool if they had made the Darkhold the same book from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It just would have been it would have been one of those nice touches that's like a hat nod to the people who watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they're not getting their MCU canonization.
Yeah.
There's a little hat nod to them.
Like if they really would have had Agatha Harkness be like, you would not believe who I had to take this from, who took it from me. Like that would have been that nod to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know. I haven't seen anything kind of nodding to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. since.
It just got to recover. So they had the paperback and the hardback. Okay, my bad. I was
the pamphlet.
So does somebody got the Cliff Notes version? Because I think that's pretty important to grab that too. Actually, the Cliff Notes version would have been the writing on the wall.
Just update the wiki, call it a day.
There we go. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense, and I get that because I think the cover did burn up on something. So yeah, that would do it. Sorry, Ty, what were you saying?
I have no idea.
It's cool. I'm looking forward to the character study of She-Hulk. I want that to be the angle that they take in the show. I don't want them to cheese it and just lean into her CGI hot body. I want it to focus in on the character and the struggles she has and talk about her insecurities. I want her to do like a Saved by the Bell, Zach Morris time stop, turn to the camera and talk. And
Zach Morris or House of Cards?
Okay.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. I like that.
You could do a House of Cards.
Yeah.
That would be a good way to do.
Maybe both.
Oh,
maybe a little bit of both.
However they choose. You know
Yeah.
what? When Ghost Rider took it back to
yeah,
hell.
he did take it back to hell, didn't he?
Did he? Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, at the end.
He did. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I guess the cover probably burned up, and so. Okay, I'm trying to work with you here on this, DJ. Like, I'm still not buying that it's the same book. Okay, I'm not buying that it's the
I
same.
mean, if
person.
Ghost Rider took it, how did Agatha get it back? Because Agatha sounded like she had it the entire time. It was Agatha all along.
It was Agatha all along. Maybe Agatha
That-
is Ghost Rider.
Okay.
Oh,
Mephisto
change the
confirmed.
wiki.
Okay. Okay.
There it is. There it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, but you know what? What did they say? Witches are Satan's wives. So
Yeah, maybe.
So if Ghost Rider took it back to hell, boss got it. She called in a favor, like, "Hey, Dad, I need you to do me a favor. Can you do that for me, Zaddy?" And then, like,
But see,
boom.
we see at that point we're stretching now because we don't know.
Yeah, I
Did
mean,
he go down? Did he go to the? I thought he went to like another dimension.
well,
Ain't no telling no nowadays.
wait. So the question is, hell as a place in Marvel
Is another
is
dimension.
another
Another
dimension.
dimension, yeah.
But I don't think Ghost Rider was going to the hell dimension. But maybe he was. I don't know. It's been such a long time, and I'm honestly not interested in trying to rewatch it again.
I don't.
That's
need
not
to.
unreasonable. That's not unreasonable
I
to say.
would- I would leave it to
That's
the
not unreasonable to
experts.
say at all.
I'll
Yeah.
leave it to the experts. So that's the trailer was probably the biggest thing. There's one other thing that I've seen recently that I wanted to touch on. Ty, you an anime person?
I am an anime person.
So I
Oh, I'm an anime
posted.
person. What's up?
David, I tagged you.
Well, I can only see so much on my phone. Is kind of messed up right now. So let me pull it up.
No. I'm going to. What is this? Okay, he
It
shared
was
this.
the Jitsu thing.
Yes. So the director of Jujutsu Kaisen. Let me find our group there. Boom.
Ninja Kamui.
Kamui. Yes. Okay.
So it's the director of Jujutsu Kaisen and the artist behind Afro Samurai. Ooh.
I like that. I like everything that I just heard right now. Hold on.
Yes.
Let me
And it's
see.
going to be
So-
on Adult Swim.
Ooh, it might be some magic. Hold on.
Disguising the series as a futuristic action adventure, the series is being produced by E&H Production and Sola Entertainment. The digital animation studio is also working on the upcoming Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim.
Okay, yeah.
So Sola, he had worked on the Adult Swim sci-fi action series Blade Runner: Black Lotus that came in on the network in late 2021.
She's
It'll
pretty
feature
good.
characters by Takeshi Okazaki, and that's the artist behind Afro Samurai.
Mhm.
So that by itself, like I was hooked on the two things I heard. Here's my art director. Here's my showrunner. Sold.
Yeah.
I'm there. And just the little bit that we've seen, the little bit of imagery that we've seen. Let me see if I can pull this up. Yep, I'm going to share this and show this because I felt like it deserves it. Share screen. Boom. There it is. That just looks really, really good to me.
That looks super
Yeah,
clean.
no, this is I'm in.
All right,
And
here's
I was very happy to hear, and like I said, just the fact that it is from the people who brought Jujutsu Kaisen, which kind of had me hooked, and God of High School.
Mm. Yeah, they're not all winners. That's okay. That's fine.
But
this
you know,
is gonna tell the story of Joe Higgin, a skilled assassin who was trained by a powerful clan of ninjas. Higgin travels to America to raise his family and escape his bloody past, but the clan he used to work for tracks him down, murders his family, and leaves him for dead. Now seeking revenge, Higgin must use Agent Ninja techniques to strike back against the clan's new generation of high-tech warriors, including combat cyborgs and rival ninjas.
Okay, so
I mean, it's a classic revenge story. Nothing,
Yeah.
you know. And so, just based on that, I feel like it's going to be a very by the numbers formula type show. I don't need,
But it's gonna
anything-
look good.
It's
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
look
it's
fantastic.
gonna look fantastic. Yeah, it's gonna look great. I can't I don't have too many hopes for the story just based off of that synopsis alone.
Yeah,
But but I can give it a pass if everything, like we were saying earlier, if everything else kind of
Yeah.
hits like it's supposed to. Like the fight scene's got to be nice. It's got to look good. I really want to see some kind of movement from this soon. So before I make a decision if I'm gonna put this in the rotation or not.
Now, I am curious because you kind of seem to got out of high school. What?
And so
Wait, because I was kind of feeling like, wait a
and
minute, now hold on.
so we
Before
I've had this conversation with you before, Sam. Actually, we were talking about it, and I, as much as I like God of High School, it is a terrible adaptation. It is a
of
horrible
the
of
of
the
the
of the manhwa. Yeah, it's a terrible adaptation. The pacing's all over the place. Like the fight scenes are
Okay.
great. It looks great. It's just
that's kind of what I'm. That's
it's
really between
yeah.
that and okay. So if you take the good from Jujutsu Kaisen, which has I feel like a much more involved story,
Yes.
just based on the anime, because I haven't read either. You said manhwa or manga.
It's a manhwa, yeah, because it's Korean. It's a manhwa, yeah.
Okay, so I haven't read Jujutsu Kaisen. I haven't read God of High School. I've only watched those animes.
Right.
And so the story that was involved in Jujutsu Kaisen is so much better than the
Yeah.
story in God of High School. And you can tell in watching God of High School that they skipped a lot. That they
Yes.
just
Oh
kind
my
of
god, they skip so much stuff.
they
But
they went to like the third book where the fighting starts and only
so
took a couple of the chapters from that
yeah,
and
see,
then went to the end chapter.
well, here's the thing about God of High School that really kind of irked me a lot. That's why I wasn't feeling anime as much. They didn't really skip anything. They just breezed past it.
Mm.
Like they're like everything that you saw was in the book, like in the manga, as it was, but like where like a chapter in Jujutsu Kaisen would probably be like half an episode, maybe, or maybe like a full episode. A chapter in God of High School is like the first 5 minutes of the anime in that episode.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So they summarized. We
yeah,
actually got
it is literally the bullet points of what's going on in there, and I I
the whole anime was cliff notes.
right, and I can kind of like make several educated guesses on why Crunchyroll did that. Number one, it's Crunchyroll, uh, and their original stuff is kind of they'll vary in
Quality.
they'll vary in quality. You know, you'll have your God of High Schools, which is it's okay, and then you'll have your High Guardian Spices, which we're not going to talk about that because that is just a travesty.
Tower of God.
Uh, Tower God's okay. It's okay. It's fine. I wasn't a fan of. I'm just not a fan of Tower God myself, but like just looking past my little hangups with it, it's fine. It's okay. It's like I see why people like it. I don't personally like it myself, but I see why people like it, and it's good. It's good based off of that. Their original stuff isn't as good as like everything else that they kind of license and put on their site. Which in the second reason why I think they skipped as much as they did or breezed past as much as they did is that the stuff that you saw in the anime is not even the cool shit. The cool shit is way later. So I think what they're trying to do is get past this initial school stuff, get past the initial tournament arc, so they can go do the cool shit.
Okay.
Well, see, and the funny thing is, I really feel like, and of course, like you said, we've had this conversation before, and it is important to me to say that like I just have to really make it a point one day to just read Journey to the West by itself because I see so many references to Journey to the West all the time, and like every story I come across, like every time I really like an anime, it turns out to be another adaptation of Journey to the West, and I'd be like,
it's
damn
timeless.
it.
It's
Right,
timeless.
but it's like I'd be thinking I got away from it. It's just like, you know what?
You're never gonna get away from it.
I should just read Journey to the West. But it's like I can't think of anything that, in comparison, that we have that can be adapted so many different ways because it's like I've seen Goku on screen 1,001 times, and
You should have.
it never ceases to amaze me that every single time it's like, oh wait, that's Goku. At the end of it, it's
Yep.
like, oh okay, that's Goku. But I was
Goku.
even shocked with this one to see Naruto pop up, and you know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, didn't see that one coming, and I saw Akami at some point, and what is a? Did I say that right? What's the wolf dog?
The wolf dog.
White wolf looking dog.
Oh,
white,
Amaterasu.
popped in there for a hot second. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like learning to kind of pick out and pinpoint and recognize these. I can't even call them character models or arcs or anything. You know what I'm saying? But like recognize those characters in this media is I'm beginning to love it and really, you know, like break my arm, pat myself on the back that I catch those things. And so it's like I'm looking forward to what I saw as far as the fight scenes, the way the fight scenes were done, the animation for that.
Yeah.
Give me all of that.
And see, and that's why God of High School irks me so much, because it looks good and on paper it's a good adaptation, but it's a bad adaptation. It's that's what really gets me, because it's a bad adaptation. I can see it and recognize it as a bad adaptation, but if this is the worst it is going to get, the sky's the limit. Like they can really do something with God of High School. It's just, are they willing to do it?
I have yet to hear anything about the season 2 or anything like that.
They're probably not going to, honestly.
That's sad.
Probably just because of.
I mean, the fact that they've moved on to this kind of sometimes makes me think like, oh well, you know, they don't have Park anymore. He's not doing it, so
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's that.
So.
It is what it is, and I can kind of see the writing on the wall, and I've been wrong before. So maybe they have grand plans for, you know, Tower of God of High School, and all this other stuff. But just judging off of what happened with High Guardian Spice, they're probably going to be done with the Crunchyroll originals.
Gotcha. You know what? I am waiting for whatever comes next from Aniplex and the next thing of Demon Slayer. Because they earned every penny. Ty, you out of here, man?
Guys. Yeah, I hear my kid waking up.
Not a problem, man. We thank you for being on, and I'm gonna highlight you.
All right, take care, guys.
See you, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to, because this last entertainment district arc,
the entertainment district arc. Yeah. Oh my goodness,
and those last.
I was so happy
that 4 episodes. Oh my!
I was so happy the way that arc came out, because I was actually kind of worried that it wouldn't be as good as it was in the manga, but I'm glad that I was wrong.
Yeah, like I just, those last 3-4 episodes, it made it totally okay that they tried to rehash the movie for the beginning and everything. Like, I was like, I forgave him for all of that. Like,
nah, it's that's the thing. If you have a movie, not everybody's gonna go see the movie, so you gotta throw that in there.
Yeah, you break it up and put that in there.
You got it. You kind of have to at this point, because not everybody's going to pay the subscription service. Not everybody's going to go out to the theaters to go see the movie. I will, because I'm a nerd. But I also like stuff like this. I'm gonna absolutely go out of my way to go see the Jujutsu Kaisen Zeros or the Mugen Trains and all that.
Yeah. I've actually I've had a little bit of time here lately. I know I'm about to start losing all my time again, so I've started like, okay, I can't really get into a whole lot of my video games like I want to, so I can usually spare like 30 minutes, maybe an hour, just kind of like watching something. And when I have it all to myself, I can watch the stuff that is subtitled, simply because I'm not doing anything else. There's no distraction. when I'm
Right.
distracted, sometimes I kind of have to do dubs just to keep up with everything and know what's what and not miss what I'm hearing.
That's fine. That's fine. No shame in that.
And so I've started going back for Rise of Shield Hero, their season 2. I need that one to kind of. It took a while. Like, it didn't take very long for the first season to get going, and they had a couple of little slow spots, but for the most part, that was a joy to watch. Season 2, they're starting off, and I'm like, okay, I know all of this. And so I'm waiting to kind of see something happen. But
oh no, stuff is happening in Shield Hero. Stuff is happening. There's a lot of stuff happening right now.
Okay, because I think I have to look and see how many episodes they have up, but I want to say they only have like 4 episodes up or 5 episodes up. And
yeah, it's about 4 or 5 episodes. But yeah, just they're again, just coming off of just reading the light novels and the manga and stuff. Like, I know what's happening right now.
okay,
And just going off of the episodes that are already out. Yeah, no, shit's about to hit the fan like real quick.
so far all I've seen is like a big turtle showed up.
Yeah, Spirit
And
Tortoise, that is
yeah.
a big deal. As a big deal.
And his like, in a weird way, and of course, just because I'm, like, I have to make things make sense in my head.
Yeah.
So I was like, his not his bride, but the girl that works for him,
His avatar.
Yeah,
his
avatar. She comes down and she's talking to the council and whatnot. And of course, Shield Hero is the only one that's gonna like do anything about it, as always. And I'm kind of looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, like, am I watching the Galactus story right now? Is she Silver Surfer and the tortoise is Galactus because he's going to destroy the Earth?
Kind of.
And so I'm like, okay, cool. But in the story Marvels, Silver Surfer, that's where he turned and became a hero. So this chick who's not really a chick, but is a chick, I got to see what's going on with her. And wow, the bats. Okay, you know what? Let me go to the next episode. I got questions, and if I don't watch, I don't need to be asking these questions. So I'll just watch and then I'll get my questions answered.
Yeah, it's like I will admit that it is like, even with everything going on with the Spirit Tortoise, it is starting off a little slow, but the payoff is going to be worth it.
Cool.
And again, it's very much a thing of they are skipping a lot of stuff to get to the point, So if you're feeling like this now, imagine reading the manga or the light novel. You are reading through to get there, but there's a lot of stuff, especially with the Rishia. They did skip a lot of stuff with her, so it's gonna be more important to kind of pay attention to her in the anime as it starts to go on, because I feel like they're gonna put that development on a little bit later. Because it's pretty much her show for a little while. Because we're trying to get her up to speed.
Gotcha.
But that's all I'm really gonna say about that, because spoilers.
Okay, no, and I'm cool with that. Thank you, but I'd be like, okay, this is not really moving. It gets better though, right?
No, it gets better. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as we know it gets better, I'll stick it out.
We're gonna be seeing more of. I mean, I can tell you this because you like, I don't know what episode you're on the second season, but you're gonna see a lot more of Lark and Therese and Glass.
Okay.
In the coming episodes, you're gonna see a lot more of them.
Okay, cool. Because they were really interesting. From those are the 3 from the other
world.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
they were really interesting, and of course, we've just now kind of talked about them at the beginning because they're like, since the clock disappeared, he was kind of wondering, like, so does that mean that the other people aren't coming back? And he's got his questions and some stuff's happening.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm leaning into it, and I was, like I said, just the first 2. I think it was like the first 2 episodes. I think I just finished episode 3 the other day, and so I was just kind of like, yeah. The first episode I was like, yeah, I know all of that.
Okay. So yeah, all right. So you haven't actually like gotten to the thing yet. So yeah, all right. So yeah,
I want to say the next one is when they are like they just had the whole conversation with the council. We just found out that the avatar works for him but doesn't work for him and stuff, and trying to get that explanation. And now they've made the plan and they're getting ready to enact the plan. So that's the next thing I think is supposed to happen, is they're supposed to go and try to attack the spirit tortoise. Like that's So that's where I am.
So you're gonna get into it. You're definitely gonna get into it.
All right. I'm also, let's see, I picked up an episode or two of That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime.
Good stuff.
I'm through.
Do you know what you need to be watching right now?
What do I need to
Goddamn watch? Spy Family. You need to be watching this.
Spy Family's actually in my queue.
You need to be watching Spy Family.
Okay, so just pause everything, go right to that one.
Pause everything, because I think it's like Spy Family's at what, 4 or 5 episodes, same as Shield Hero right now.
Okay, so I can get caught up.
You can get caught up. Yeah, no, Spy Family is absolutely amazing. You need to be watching this.
Okay. Because see, Slime is one of those, I watch it because I see like a big list of episodes. So I'm like, okay, like I'll catch an episode or two here or there.
Yeah. So honestly, like, you keep watching Slime, but like every Saturday, Spy Family drops a new episode. You need to be watching Spy Family because it's really good.
Okay. See, and right now my thing is like I've had to catch, of course, every week I had to catch Moon Knight. So I got a little bit of a break and I got a little bit of time since Moon Knight's not back on. Halo drops on Thursday. New Teen Titans drops on Thursdays. So I've been having to kind of catch those.
Yeah.
I get up Sunday morning and I can usually catch 1 or 2 episodes of something then. And like even tonight, I'll be able to do 1 episode of something tonight. And so maybe we'll start Spy Family.
So yeah,
tonight.
I would say I would highly recommend just get the first episode of Spy Family out of the way right now so you can get a feel for it.
Okay.
Because I've actually heard nothing of Spy Family before the anime dropped, and somebody told me, it's like, you need, like, the manga's really good, you need to watch the anime. So I dove in. I gave it like 3 episodes before I started like binging it. This anime good.
Like good.
Like good. Like I want to talk about it so bad, but I want you to experience it for yourself. It's that good.
Okay, then
like,
you know what?
Nothing.
Then you know what? We will put that at the top of the list, and we will make that will be next Wednesday. What's the date next Wednesday? Are you good for next Wednesday?
No, I'm gonna be at MomoCon next Wednesday. I'm gonna be gone that whole week.
Okay, I know it starts Thursday. It's like Thursday through Sunday, but I guess like set up and prep. And
I gotta set up. Yeah, I gotta do all the setup and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna be gone all week, my man.
Okay, not a problem. You know what? We might do a let's see. When you leaving? You heading out Monday to start?
Yeah, I'm heading out Monday to do a contract job, and then immediately after that contract job, I'm heading out to go to MomoCon.
All right, then I will get caught up by Sunday. Just so you can do your special episode of Spy Family,
man.
Because you're the homie, and we need to talk some anime. I ain't had no anime, so this will be our catch up. And since I got you on MomoCon.
You want to talk MomoCon?
Talk to me about MomoCon, man. Like what is and what are you? How do I? Where is what? When?
What is? All right. So MomoCon, like, how do I describe MomoCon? How do I do it justice? MomoCon is what now? 4-day event now, Linda? Yeah, 4-day event. Oh, I thought you said Friday, Saturday. So yeah, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week. MomoCon is happening in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Georgia World Congress Center. It's a great time. It's just big convention, not just anime, video games, movies, cartoons, anything that you can really think of. It's there. There's gonna be tons of guests. We party, tons of guests. Lots of arcade machines, lots of games, tournaments, and arcade machines are free to play. Thank you.
That's kind of a big deal.
That is a big deal, yeah.
Because arcade machines is not cheap. They want like $2 and $3 for arcade machines these days.
Yeah.
Round one be
and
getting
pinball.
paid.
And pinball. But yeah, then you got cosplay contests, karaoke.
Talk to me about that karaoke at
Man,
MomoCon. I feel
well,
like that might be kind of a hot button issue here. Talk to
so
me about that
I
karaoke.
honestly, to be completely honest, I have no idea what's going on with karaoke this year. He was asking me what's going on with karaoke this year. It's karaoke. I don't know if they're doing anything like new or special because the leadership has changed. So it should still be the same karaoke you know and love, just with a little bit more energy.
So and maybe I'm kind of off base on this one. Are the same are not people close to me hosting karaoke?
No. Well, yeah.
Oh, well then
No,
bump
no,
karaoke.
no. Yeah,
Okay.
no.
But that I'm correct though. That used to be the thing, right? Karaoke used to be the thing.
That used to be Linda's thing.
Right. So I was
That used to be Linda's thing, but she has since shifted over to gaming logistics.
okay. Then let's talk gaming. That's all. That's all I'm
Yeah.
trying to do. I'm just trying to plug
Yeah.
my peeps.
Yeah.
Just trying to plug my peeps. So
she's the fixer. She's the fixer upper. I am in charge of free play gaming, so you can come to my department and just kind of hang out and play some games that we have on display. Yeah, no, it's a good time. It's there's not really much more to say about that. I'll have systems out and you can play them as long as you don't destroy my stuff. Then you'll have a good time.
cool.
Yeah,
Come in,
PS5s, bunch of
respect the
Xbox.
console,
Yeah,
respect the controllers,
consoles. Yes,
and
yeah.
enjoy. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
But yeah, no, it's totally a fun time.
They also have PC free play.
There's also a LAN area.
Tournaments. It's not bring your own PC.
It's not, yeah, the LAN area is not bring your own PC, but yeah, there's the LAN area. You got your tournaments, tabletop gaming. I'm trying to I want to get a guest list real quick so you can kind of just see what's going on. Let me see.
We have Mario's gonna be there.
Oh, Charles Martinet is gonna be there. Okay, yeah. So yeah, apparently Charles Martinet is gonna be there. The voice of Mario. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So apparently that's the thing that kind of left my gaze.
That is why we will not be on the thing next Wednesday.
Yeah.
We'll be at the hotel.
But yeah, no. You got voice actors like Justin Cook, Phil Lamar, Jen Taylor is going to be there. Goofy, yeah. The voice of Goofy was Bill Farmer. Yeah, Bill Farmer is going to be there. The voice of Goofy. You got YouTubers like Caleb Hiles, Saber Spark. Who else? Yeah, I just said Jen Taylor. Yeah, Jen Taylor's going to be there. Who else?
Now,
if you're in the nerdcore, Game Boy Jones and Schwabati is going to be there. So yeah, no, it's yeah, lots of big names going to be there. Oh yeah, that's right. There is going to be wrestling there. We got wrestlers coming through. Kane's going to be there. Who else?
Okay.
Who else was going to be there? Oh, I'm doing a real bad job of representing.
No. And I think one of the important things to point out is because a lot of people, like I just kind of found this out not too long ago. Most people look at MomoCon and DragonCon, and in the past it was kind of looked at as being two different events. And while they take place at different times, and they've never really competed with one another, it was always low-key kind of competition. But now they have actually genuinely partnered and collaborated to be part of like the Georgia Cons.
Yeah, and they've been partnered for a little while now. Let's say, how long have DragonCon and MomoCon been partnered? About like what, 4 or 5 years, something like that.
2018.
Since 2018, yeah.
2017.
2017, yeah. So since about 2017 they've been partnered. So it's kind of been a good symbiotic relationship,
See, and it's just one of those things where like I was not aware of that. I always thought it was like you had to kind of pick and choose if you were going to do one. And for the people, for the I think one of the main differences that I've always seen or always thought about.
Yeah, did you get a note? Give me one moment. Hold on, let me check something real quick.
I think it's
Sure, I'm just going to ramble for a minute. You know, I can do
Okay.
that. But in the past, I've always kind of looked at it as one of the biggest differences being that Dragon Con was more about geek culture in general and was a little bit more open to interpretation and kind of like fell under the pop culture banner. Where MomoCon, and I don't know if the name had anything to do with it, but MomoCon always seemed to kind of be focused more on, like, it had more of an anime influence. It was just like had more of an Eastern inspiration, we'll say. It does focus on video games, and of course, where a majority of the video games made. And it kind of always felt that way, but it's become a little bit more standard and understandable and acceptable to believe that you could just go to a con, just con by itself, any con you go to, and be do cosplay. You could put on whatever and it would be acceptable because you were at a con. And the last few times I've been to Dragon Con, of course, it's always been like, oh yeah, da 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 da. Well, next year at MomoCon, and a lot of people I know that do cosplay, they plan and they set up and they prepare to go to multiple cons. They're going to do cons locally. They're going to do cons out of state, out of town, in other locations. You have some celebrity cosplayers or professional cosplayers, or people who are, cosplay models, if that's the right terminology for it.
It's all under the same umbrella, yeah.
Yeah, they actually they make it a point to attend all of the cons. Like, that's what they do. They are going to be at this con, at that con, at this con, at that con.
Yep.
And that is kind of like their, not really their celebrity circuit, but that's how they keep the fan base that they have. That's how they make sure to get the model shots that they need for the promotion so that they can be featured. And
Yes.
One of the first people that comes to mind, just because like she's local and she's just international now, is Cutie Pie Sensei. And
Yeah,
I saw her featured on one of the Marvel shows, the Marvel 616 thing. They do a whole episode and it's kind of focused on her, and it talks about her journey with cosplay and that sort of thing, and how it got from how she started out and where she got to. And I was actually going back and looking, and I will have to double check, but I feel very confident I have a picture of Cutie Pie Sensei at Dragon Con from a couple of years ago, and didn't even know that was her because it was just someone with a banging ass Samus cosplay. And
it'd be like that. It really just be like that.
You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, I just happened to walk by. She was there. I was like, oh, can I get a picture? Boom. And, kept going and went back and looked at the pictures later and whatnot. And then, of course, as I'm seeing her talk about this, she was like, yeah, we go to Dragon Con. And I was like, wait.
Yeah.
And then like run over and like start going through my 500 pictures of like, where was it?
I got that.
And so it's like stuff like that is so cool. But now it's like, now that the cons are just, they're normal, they're standard, they're, when I won't say that they've become so mainstream, but it's like the stigma surrounding going to cons has certainly dropped off, and more people are interested, and more people are finding entertainment in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me,
honestly, it's not incorrect to say that conventions like this are becoming mainstream or are mainstream now, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because that just means that there's more people to enjoy the culture.
Yeah.
It's not taboo anymore. It's not as taboo anymore to enjoy anime or comics or video games or any of this nerd culture shit. It's becoming normalized, which is good.
It is very good.
And
like I said, it's wonderful to have the stigma removed.
Yes,
and be able to go and attend and be like, I need to take this day off. What are you doing? Oh, I was, what? Yeah, I got plans to go to MomoCon, and not be like, you going what?
Yeah,
to a who? With a where?
Because now everybody's now seeing that there's something for everybody in this world.
No, people are really beginning to understand there's some cool shit there. And if you go, you might enjoy it.
And that's
And
I see that comment right there. That's a good point. There's more money to help flourish nerd culture, the more mainstream it gets. Yeah, yeah,
right.
there you go.
Because
It's Linda,
if people can see
well, yeah,
that some
that's
dollars is
absolutely a
involved,
good point. Yeah,
if people can see there's some dollars involved and it's money to be made, because let me tell you something. I went to even something as simple as like when you go to a my wife actually dragged me to a tattoo convention that was here in Atlanta, like maybe a year or two ago. This is
Right.
before I got before I got any tattoos. I was like, one day I'm gonna do it. At this point, she had like 2 or 3. And
yeah, that's true. That's
where
true
was
right
it?
there.
She's just fun. Where she's yeah.
That's absolutely true.
Absolutely true. And that's actually what I was gonna say. We were at a tattoo convention that was here in Atlanta. And because you have these super talented artists who are here because of the tattoo convention, you know what else they got? Here's all their custom artwork that you can purchase and you can buy. And here's a table full of posters that they drew and did and everything. And it's like, damn, this is dope. And da 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 da. And then, of course, like, you know, just talking to them, they're like, yeah, we're only going to be here for 2 days, but you know, next week we're going to be in such and such town. We're going to this convention and that convention. And you know what I'm saying? You get these people who like kind of make their money on the road when they're able to go and kind of sell out at these places and sell out a lot of this extra merch. And
right.
I know for a fact, I used to actually get, before I was able to like really make it a point to go and be at Dragon Con myself, I used to have a coworker from at a former place I used to work. And oh shit, we've done it so many times. Back when I used to work at GameStop.
Like, we can say it now. It's fine.
You know what I'm saying? Like what they gonna do? Like they not gonna write me up?
Are you gonna fire me?
Like right. Like I wish you would. It would, you know what? It would help you if I was available to
do me a favor.
Right. Like thank you. But
if I we're all fired. No,
right.
Yeah,
I promise you we're fired. Like I was actually fired. That's the crazy part. But so
huh? Yeah, so yeah, they invited Linda back.
Right. See, I was anyway, moving on from GameStop. But yeah, I used to have a coworker at GameStop, and I would ask him whenever he would go, like, hey, while you're there, I bet they are looking at us. I would always ask him, like, hey, while you're there, can you see if you see this comic, or this comic? Because the stuff he could come back with from going to Dragon Con, because he always bought the passes and had he could go to anything. And like, I'm good to like go and be a part. And like, I like to go and see the parade. Like, to me, that's one of the big moments of Dragon Con. So that is my Dragon Con day. I want to get down there, see the parade, see all the cosplay that day for the parade. And honestly, I get my fill. Like that does it for me. And I'm good. But you have people who like plan and schedule well in advance to go be in the panels. That's where people get their photographs, they get their autographs, they get to see their heroes and meet their favorite actors and stuff like that. And you can do all of that same stuff at MomoCon, and it's a different time of year. So if in fact you can't make it to this one, which is around Labor Day, you can go to this one that's around Memorial Day.
Yeah.
So they've got it set up so beautifully, and it is like really, really growing. Because I want to say like the last couple of numbers I've seen for it, you're easily talking like 20,000 people.
Yeah, it's scratching the surface, honestly. Last MomoCon before pandemic hit, what was the numbers for that? 2019. What was the numbers for that? 40,000, something like that. Yeah. Unofficially Dragon Con was 60,000. So yeah, it does numbers. It's big. It's big. So if you want to be part of the festivities, next week. That is true. Yeah, we've 39,000 in 2019. Over 39,000 in 2019.
Yeah.
And this year is going to even be bigger because now that we're completely in the World Congress Center now, because we just expanded so much. We just needed more space. So
Wow.
we're just in the exhibit halls now.
And that was from 35,000 in 2018.
It was okay. So yeah, 35,000 in 2018,
Yeah.
to over 3,900 in 2019.
39,000. That is wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it is very like once they
Just tell me when you get up again.
the fact that they have kind of partnered up and it is just the Georgia cons, like we have Dragon Con. If we can get Renaissance Festival tied in with the same group, but the Renaissance Festival travels like
Yeah,
that's one
I
thing
don't know
that
if that's going to be a thing.
yeah,
But
that's one group that travels and they hit they go all over the place. And
yeah,
that was kind of funny to me. I saw some people who went to the Renaissance Festival for the first time. And I
mhm.
was very happy to see that they went just so that they could maybe get a better understanding of what it is I enjoy about going to the Renaissance Festival every year. And it's more than just a turkey leg. Like I actually like to go and see the shows and watch and you know what I'm saying? Because I like the fantasy genre, you know what I'm saying? So Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, uh, hell, the Northmen, I'll probably check that out. Any Vikings, like I like the medieval time period, so Renaissance Festival is perfect. For anybody, if you like sword and sorcerer, Renaissance Festival is, it's a no brainer. And so for those people who aren't really a fan of that, it's kind of hard to see it and get into it. But what I love is that for just about every one of these, there's such a I've never really felt like there was a major competition between them. Like if you go to MomoCon, as I was saying earlier, I've always felt like MomoCon kind of had a little bit more of an Eastern influence, as it seemed to be a little more focused on anime. Like it seemed to be more focused on
Right.
anime, or at least, like I said, that Eastern influence, video games, anime, and things of that nature. Now it's kind of become a little bit more general geek nerd culture, and it still has a little bit more of the video game aspect, because like when you go to Dragon Con you don't see as much or hear as much regarding video games outside of the people who might be cosplaying video game characters. There's
Yeah.
not as much to do. Now they have their parties and stuff at Dragon Con, and they have their contests, and they have their cosplay contest, and they do a like a cosplay fashion show. So I mean,
Mhm.
there's still like a lot that takes place, and it is an actual straight up convention.
Yes.
But MomoCon seems to be a little bit more visitor friendly.
Yeah,
my opinion.
it's definitely more family friendly. Just because as I like to think that MomoCon likes to keep the appeal as wide as possible.
It's for all ages.
Yes, for all ages, I guess. Fine. Yeah. So yeah, I can make the assumption that they'll want to keep their scope as wide as possible. So they just kind of want to keep it that way. Because when you go to Dragon Con, and anybody can go to Dragon Con, but you're definitely attracting a certain kind of people for Dragon Con.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean,
There's nothing wrong with that at
if
all.
they, I mean, there's something for everybody.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not at Dragon Con, but it's somebody's there for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Somebody's there for it when it comes to Dragon Con. But yeah, like I said, it seems like from what I can see, what I've been able to kind of decipher, it has always kind of felt like MomoCon might, and I think that's probably the best way to sum it up. It does feel like it is a little bit more family friendly, and it is like geared towards all ages. And
Yes.
but I love that it's still the same geek community, the same nerd community, the same culture, where if you show up to MomoCon and you don't have an anime cosplay, you're doing a full Star Wars cosplay, they're going to be like, yo, dope cosplay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not like, oh, you should have done something Bowser, or it had to be Mario, or the fact that you were willing to come out, attend this, and wear your outfit,
Yeah.
wear your costume.
Oh yeah, no,
That is that
and people
love
eat it up,
culture
too.
right there.
Yeah,
Right.
people eat it up.
And that's the thing that I've been most impressed by. And but it's like when I go to Dragon Con, like Dragon Con to me is more pop culture
Yes.
and does not have the specific geek slash nerd culture angle. And I think MomoCon is probably where I'm going to start leaning because I do have a preference for the geek slash nerd culture.
Right.
And I'm beginning to see that there's just a little less and less of that at Dragon Con. And again, as these things become mainstream, the good side and the bad side. The good side, there's a lot more support because there's a lot more money to be made in it.
Mm-hmm.
The bad side, now everybody's doing it and it gets muddied. And you know what I'm saying? Like it gets kind
Yeah.
of watered down.
just a little bit, but you know that in itself isn't necessarily a
And
bad
that's
thing. Yeah,
no,
it's
no,
not
no.
necessarily a bad thing.
It's, and I don't say it as a bad thing. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm simply saying because I like the emphasis on the geek and nerd culture, MomoCon is becoming a bit more appealing to me
Yeah.
because Dragon Con is leaning more towards just pop culture in general. If I
Mhm.
didn't watch that particular movie, I don't know or understand or recognize your cosplay.
Right.
I may not get it, and therefore you're just in my way. But if I see you over here, I don't know what anime that is, but that's a fire cosplay.
Mm.
And I know it's an anime cosplay because of the detail and the look. So it's that kind of thing that that's kind of been the difference for me anyway.
Mm.
And I think there's going to be a little bit more of that. So, all right, got new homework. That's why I love talking with you. I didn't have any homework for a minute. So,
Yeah, you
Spy
know,
Family. We're
Spy
gonna check out
Family.
Spy Family. And if somebody wants to attend MomoCon, are there like free visit days, or is everything register required?
Everything is register required. But you can just purchase a 1 day or 2 day pass, 3 day, 4 day, however many passes that you want to, how many days you want to go, you can purchase that.
Are
yeah.
passes still available?
Passes are still available, and you can purchase passes at the door.
Okay. Since it runs through Sunday is my off day. You know what? That's Sunday next week.
Sunday next week, yes.
Okay. So I know I got a 6-day work week next week. So only off day will be Sunday next week. I'm not getting that Wednesday off, which is fine because it didn't start till Thursday anyway. But yeah, so I might be able to get out there maybe the 29th and do some walking around, see what's what, and try to drag the wife through. And if anybody in group, if they've made it to our 3-hour mark, if they are wanting to find you, that is going to be at the free game station.
I'll be down in Hall B. I am the director of Free Play Gaming. You will see me pretty much exclusively during the afternoon. You may see me just kind of skulking around the convention in general all day. But if you want to see me in my department, you'll probably have to come between like 2 and 6 or something like that. I don't know. But I'll be
B.
Yeah, Hall B. And I'll still be poking in, and I'll just got to make sure my department's not on fire and whatnot. But if you really want to catch me, probably around like 2 p.m.
Gotcha. And you talk about that Sunday off, but when the only day you have off is Sunday,
man,
it ain't the same, bro. You on a 6-day work week, and Sunday is your only day off. Stuff be closed. Stuff don't open till late. It closed early. Like you can't get a lot done on a Sunday.
6-day work week is trash, man.
Man, it is so trash. But who knows? I've got some things in the pipeline. We're gonna see how that go, and we'll just fingers crossed. We're gonna make some stuff happen. We're gonna try to get it popping. But anything else you need to talk about, plug or pitch to us before we go?
I got a couple things I can plug if you don't mind.
Always.
Okay.
So
Anyway, over here being Linda. But yeah, so as far as my normal stream schedule goes, it's going to be shifting a little bit because I've had a shift in schedule at work. So the week after next, because I won't be at home, streams are starting back up. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll be streaming probably around 4 in the afternoon. Not entirely sure what the schedule is going to be, but Sip and Spook will be back at some point. I'm aiming it for Friday.
Sip and Spook.
Yeah.
Sip and Spook is hilarious, man.
Yeah, people love Sip and Spook, so we're bringing it back. I'm aiming for Friday.
What is it about us that we just want to see the debauchery of getting someone else drunk?
Yeah.
And making them play scary video games.
Yeah, it's a winning formula, and
it is such a great formula. You know what? This is probably I'm gonna collab with you on TikTok, and because somebody just hit like a bunch of how many followers you
I'm at 500. I'm at 500 followers now. Yeah, it's been great. Yeah, because I'm starting to hit my stride there in TikTok, because I've linked up with so many of the FGC guys over there, and it's been great. It's been great. Speaking of, I do have an interview with one of them on Friday. This coming Friday I have one. If you go to Phil, of course, his Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Phil, of course. We're going to be talking. I'm not entirely sure of the time when I do get that information. Will probably be like tomorrow morning. I'll get that information. I'll put it out, and people can see me there. I'll probably have it. I'll probably host it on my channel as well. So if you can't get to his, you'll definitely see it on mine.
Simulcast yours, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we're gonna talk fighting games and other stuff. It's gonna be great. Phil's a good guy. He's awesome. And I have other things in the pipeline. I may be hosting a tournament soon. I got to get the particulars ironed out with somebody else. But yeah, I might be running a Persona 4 Arena Ultimax tournament in the near future. So yeah, no, it's gonna be great. And once I can get my phone fixed back up, I'm gonna be back on TikTok, posting up stuff. I got a bunch of ideas, but I can't execute because I can't use my phone the way I want. So there's that. So that's why content's been a little slow.
We'll talk offline. I just discovered something today for the first time, and it was like, oh wow, okay. So I threw a clip up, and I was kind of tripping because I don't really like be TikToking like that, but I'm like, apparently that's what I need to do. I need to be TikToking like that.
You need to be TikToking. It's the way.
I have I'm nowhere close to where you are. I'm like really, really just starting out. But the only thing I kind of have on my TikTok is like mostly the Grown Geeks content. I have like a couple of I have like our trailer, and I took a video clip of our last week's weigh-in Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing got like way more views than all my other videos very quickly.
The funny thing about TikTok is that they love clips from other sites, but they don't like you talking about the sites for some reason. So like I could post a Twitch clip and it'll do just fine, but the moment I start mentioning Twitch, it doesn't do well. It doesn't like it. So you got to be very particular about how you navigate the TikTok waters. But it's really good for growth. I'll tell you that right now.
DJ, what you got going on, man? What you got? You got me too. You too. What? Talk to me. We'll put you on.
While he's saying that, but yeah, no, yeah. So new schedule until they figure out what's going on my work schedule, because this is a temporary thing. I just don't know how temporary. I might be saying goodbye to the 4-day work week pretty soon, but they sound like they can keep me on that for a little while. So yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is going to be streams. And then, of course, Friday, I got Phil, of course, with his interview. We're going to do that. And, actually, yeah. So Wednesday when I come back from MomoCon, the first thing that I'm going to do is that he has nothing on TikTok. The first thing I'm going to do is going to start a Pokemon randomizer Nuzlocke, if you know what that is. And that's going to be fun. I've been wanting to do that for a while, so I'm going to gonna dive into that. That's gonna be my Wednesday thing. Thursday is gonna be Final Fantasy and fighting games like I usually do, and then Friday, once we can figure out what we're gonna do with that. I need to figure out a time because Linda works during the day, so it'll probably be in the evening. Sip and Spook will come back, and we need to finish up Silent Hill 2. But yeah, no, that's the plan. That's the plan.
Very cool. All right. Well, that is Heroic Hat. So that's what, twitchtv.com or
Twitch.tv/Heroic Hat.
There it is.
You can catch me on Twitch TV at Heroic Hat, Twitter at Heroic Hat, TikTok at Heroic Hat. Pretty much anything that you could think of, it's probably Heroic Hat. And also check out Linda at Splendid MG on all of the socials.
MG.
Yes.
Yeah.
Check out her TikTok primarily. She posts videos of all of our dogs. And
I love those dogs. Those videos are so. The last one was the one she had where it was like,
The one with Jack at 600.
is that the one where like vicious? I'm a vicious dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that one. That was fantastic. I couldn't get Roxy to sit still long enough to do something like that. So I like Jack's natural. You know, he's just great on camera.
He's great on camera. He's not great everywhere else because he's kind of an asshole. he's a sweet dog, but when he's ready to sleep, he's ready to sleep. He doesn't want to be bothered, unless it's by Linda, because he'll let Linda do whatever he wants to him. Nobody else though.
Yeah,
like,
so
that's the yeah.
Like,
So,
apparently, you know what? I said Linda and I mentioned Roxy's name, so she kind of looked up, but she didn't move.
Is Roxy looking for Linda?
I think so. Like I said the name, and then she like perked up and looked. So I think she's ready to start loving. She's getting old, and so she's like, settling in.
She's past her wild days now. She just wants to be loved on.
That's all she wants to do.
But yeah, yeah. Heroic Cat on everything, Splendid MG on everything. Once we can get a schedule down, I'm gonna try to re-record Fight School because we got to get that done because that last video I cannot salvage that. It's really just not working. I don't know why it desyncs so bad, and the more I try to fix it, the more it gets messed up. So I'm just like, well let's just do it again. Let's just do it again.
I mean,
plus I got more stuff that I want to talk about and more stuff that I can ease you into. So it kind of works out. It actually works.
I mean, going from a 5 to a 4, 1, 2, 3, 6 heavy.
All right. Okay.
I was ready to talk about that.
He got a little bit. He got a little bit of notation going. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
right.
I know that there's only a couple. I know there's only a couple things you can do if you do like an 8-2 combo. I found out the difference between a 5 heavy and a 6 heavy. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that was a thing.
That is a thing.
Some things are like, for example, a move that might be like a dash back attack would be a 4-4-6.
Ooh.
And so I was like,
double back forward. Okay.
Right. So I was starting to
charge attacks. He knows the charge attacks.
Okay. Hey, what's going on, Corey? What's up?
All right.
Now you want to talk about, you know what? Just because we're doing the shout outs and we was talking TikTok, I want to tell you something. Mm-hmm. Corey Sally has a hilarious TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Like you were one of the people, whenever I go on my TikTok, it'd be like anything new that you posted, anything new he posted, be like the first shit that come up on my page, on my For You. I be having to I'm gonna snap on him. I can already tell you I'm gonna snap on him for some of the stuff he posts on his TikTok, but it'd be hilarious. It'd be so funny. And he does a lot of responses. He gets some pretty good views. So maybe one day we'll all get together and do a TikTok live and promote all our shit, because it'll be worth it. I think if I can get this, since this is going good on Wednesdays, maybe I will look at pulling this up on a live for the talk.
Okay.
We'll see if that's a thing. Because I don't know how to incorporate it through what I'm doing now. Like this will do, when I do our live shows, our live shows simulcast between Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So you can watch you can watch this show, Weigh In Wednesdays, on any one of those channels.
Mhm.
I would have to do a separate for TikTok, and I don't even
Well,
know if I
see,
can do that setup.
you can't even do that right now because you got to have at least 1,000 followers.
Right. Like, well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like to go
Yeah.
live, I know,
Yeah.
but it's just the way it can be done. So that's but I'm
Yeah,
starting to
it's
see
a little funky,
a
but
little traction, and
it
I'm
can be
like,
done. Yeah.
okay, don't pretend like y'all like me, 'cause I'll stay. I'll do some
Yeah.
stuff. I'll put some stuff
Y'all
out there.
feeling me? Is y'all feeling me?
Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like Corey gets the feels. I'll tell you that. That's what kind of blew my mind. I saw my man, he on TikTok, and like his stuff be consistently showing some traction. And that one's a little loud. Matter of fact, let me see. There was something I wanted to pull up. Blah, 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 blah. So like right now, you know what I'm saying? Just looking at mine, it's kind of low. I got 164 followers. I'm feeling like, wow, I did something.
A little bit. Yeah, you got a
No.
little bit. You got a little
No.
bit.
Wait, back up. Rewind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got 49 followers.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
That's still not bad. That's still
following.
not bad.
Now I'm only following 164. And
That's
like
not bad.
my Twitter is stupid. Like I'd follow everything on Twitter. And that's why my algorithm, I had to try to reset my algorithm. So I just started following everything to confuse it. And I kind of fixed it because now it doesn't know what to show me. And so now I'm making it a point to only like interact with the things that I actually want to see. But I tried a couple of things. I tried using like some of the popular sounds that everybody was on, and nothing I had. Like the closest one was the wife doing the eat. Caught her off guard with that one. That was a pretty good one. But then I posted our Batman trailer.
Right.
When Denise and I did the review, we did a spoiler review for the Batman, and I posted the trailer that I created for that, and that got some views. That had like 800 views, and I was like, wow.
It does. The algorithm can be weird, but like if you can use it to your advantage, you can get some traction on TikTok. It's really good. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
So then I posted a clip from last week's Weigh In Wednesday. That's only been a week. That bitch already got over 1,000 views.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, so I need to post a clip every other day.
So the ideal like upload for like every day is at least 3 uploads a day. That's your ideal. Like that's what you kind of want to aim for. Like an upload a day is good. If you can do 3 a day, that's perfect.
Cool. Well, see, I'm gonna have to go back and like try to figure. I may have to like just start fresh with a new one and make it an official Grown A Geeks TikTok.
And you might want to, but even still, you can get away with not doing that and just kind of posting it on that, and you should be fine. But yeah, if you want just kind of like the brand recognition, then yeah, absolutely go for it.
Yeah, I think it'll be one of those things where it'll just like associate the right thing with the right thing and whatnot, and because I'm eventually, if this continues the way it is, I'm gonna have to go back and like remove the one of my kid, the one of my wife. I'm gonna have to change that up a little bit because I have found that in some cases the being anonymous can be advantageous.
Yeah.
So that there's no slants one way or the other. And I actually ran that as a theory with the Instagram. And so I went through and kind of cleaned up a lot of stuff on the Instagram just to see if there was different traction. And I noticed my follow back count altered slightly. I'm just saying what I saw. So I was kind of checking that out. But yeah, man. So Heroic Hat everywhere. Splendid MG everywhere. Matter of fact, I'm going to just throw it in there. Y'all check out my boy Corey Sally.
Yes, sir.
On TikTok. He's a trip. He's hilarious. He covers a lot of the astrological stuff, and he covers a lot of the responses when people get out of pocket. But some of the shit he be saying be out of pocket. So it's kind of like it's funny because you can't come for somebody if you put yourself out there like that too. But I get a lot of enjoyment out of watching his content. I like watching the people I know. You know what I'm saying? Like because it's a way that I can hang out with y'all when I'm not with y'all. So moments like this where we get to talk and catch up and I got like I said, I got homework now, and I was getting to that point where I was like, I felt like I needed something new. I was even trying to go back and watch some of the old stuff he was telling me to watch, just to, give it another shot. Maybe if I watch it under a different light instead of watching it Sunday morning, let me try watching it Wednesday nights. Maybe it'll make a difference. It'll hit differently because of whatever.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
And I have honestly found that there's some things I can watch on my phone, and it'd be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely enjoy it just like that. And then the other things I have to be like comfortable seated in my chair, or, whatever the case may be in order to enjoy it. So it's appreciated. So I'm going to get started on Spy Family. I will try to get I will have that watched by Sunday. And I'm going to say before it gets too late, Sunday evening, I think I got there's a birthday party. God, I hope it's not a surprise party. I doubt they're watching this. And if they are, I doubt they make it to the 3-hour mark. But I might have plans this Sunday. No one I know has a birthday coming up. But no, I should have some plans this Sunday, but I'm sure they won't last all day because the wife get up way too early on a Monday for me to be out late, in which case I will try to be back in time on Sunday for us to chop it up and talk about Spy School. Like, how new is Spy School for us to discuss it? I don't want to be too late with it.
Nah, it's fresh. It's a fresh one.
Fresh.
Okay. Fresh. Like came out like a couple weeks ago. Yeah, we in there. It's time.
Okay. Oh, Spy Family.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You know what you mean. Yeah, it's all good.
All right. So that'll be the next one, and I'll just put it out there. And you know what? I may even throw it in the group and let people know, like, hey, get all the episodes watched by Sunday if you want to jump in and be a part of the convo.
Yes, sir.
Because I want to be able to talk about it. So it'll be a spoiler show.
Yeah. And to be completely honest, like there is an overarching story, but it's a lot of it can just kind of be taken out of context because it's we'll talk about it.
Okay, all right, we'll talk about it later. So
oh man.
All right, well, I'm gonna get started on that one tonight.
Yes.
Follow Heroic Hat, follow Splendid MG. Make sure to click the QR code up in the corner so you can see everything we have going on and all the cool places we are. This has been Weigh In Wednesdays. I want to thank everybody who is part of the show tonight. I want to give a big shout out to Phoenix Midnight, who was our special guest. She was absolutely hilarious and amazing. That was the burlesque owner, host, participant, the whole nine. So I'll try to get us some details and get us more information, maybe some links or whatever for the burlesque show. And we'll see. Corey, you know what, Corey, just for you, bro, I'm gonna see if I can get something on the burlesque because you missed that part. You need to come back and check that part out. That's right up your alley. Up your alley. He's single, so I could talk like that to him. The rest of y'all pay your money and be a part of that. But seriously, the one thing I did want to mention that I did also, I actually went back and did what I said I was going to do, and I dropped all of our merch to cost. Our shirts, our hoodies, our cups, our mugs. Everything is down to cost. It has never been about making money off of the members. It's always been about promoting the brand and the content. So I want to get the price, make it affordable. So somebody may want to go and get a $20 hoodie that says Grown A Geeks as opposed to a $40 hoodie. I do have a $40 one, and it is like super soft. I'm not trying to press that on you. That is literally the cost of that one. Most people sell it for $48. I have everything at cost. because it will not let me set it up where it does not make a profit. So most things, the profit is under $1.
Right.
Okay.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So I'll be sure to put that out, and we'll see how TikTok feels about that, because that's a whole clip. So
you should be fine. You should be fine with that one. That'll be all right.
Yeah, that'll be all right. That'll be all right. But geeks, I appreciate y'all being here for Weigh-In Wednesdays. That's David. I'm Sam, and we finna get out of here, man. So I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace. We gonna hit that explosion right now.